What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another week, another month of 30 NSG. On today's show, we have lots of Suicide Squad topic type stuff. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad, their patch that came out. I had a video last week commenting about Paul Tassi's, is it going to make it or whatnot. And then after that, on Thursday, they came out with the patch notes, and we'll talk about the patch notes and what the article has to say about that. We're also going to talk about Sweet Baby Inc. Staff throws a tantrum of people that made an app basically to tell people what games they've worked on or been a part of. So we're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to watch the Kingard's video that he made last week, about 6 days ago, about the IGN hate boner, basically, of Rocksteady and IGN, the battle between the two. It's a funny topic because you don't really realize it was there unless you were following it. But so he made a video of it. Haven't watched it yet, so we're going to watch it together. We like watching Kingard stuff on here, so make sure you get over to his channel, give it a like as well. And we'll talk about other topics as well. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. If you like what we do here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So, what's going on, chat? What's going on, Sarge? Clips, Water, Chris, Matasbo, Kylo. What's going on? What's going on, Dolphin? Dave Rose, Big Mad Mo. Good morning to everybody. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Water says, for lots of soul next to me getting their only little ticket to see Madam Web this Friday. Oh, stop them. If they're your friends, you'd stop them. That movie's dead on arrival. Dead. Like, it's not even gonna break 100 million, I don't think. Actually, let me look it up real fast. I don't think it's been out for what, 2 weeks? 2 official weeks now. Let's see where Madam Web is. Did it break 100 mil? No, no, it did not. It has not broke 100 mil yet. 4,000 theaters. 40 million domestically, 50 million internationally, 91 million. It's making less than $1 million this weekend. 2 of the days of the 3 days. Oh my goodness. Averaging less than $300. Oh my God! Last week, Wednesday, it averaged less than $100 a theater. Amazing. That is bad. That is bad. All right. So let's talk about the Suicide Squad patch that came out on Friday, or the update, I should say, right? Now, their update, we're going to talk about through the article from Game Rant. It says, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League players have to wait longer than expected for the next patch. Okay? It says, delays emerge impacting a delivery of the next Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League patch, affecting fans waiting on certain changes. Okay? It says, fans and players of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League may end up waiting longer than they planned for the game's next scheduled update. According to developers, Rocksteady, the team is prioritizing testing a plan fix to make sure that they're ready for deployment of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League servers and clients. Okay? It says Suicide Squad had a rough go of it things since the launch of early February 2024. Multiple delays and leaks resulted in backlash against the games before it and was even released. Following the launch, audiences' fatigue over the prolific live service elements also contributed on lukewarm reception, causing publisher Warner Bros. To declare Suicide Squad sales were disappointing. Nevertheless, the game maintains an audience, and developer Rocksteady remains committed to deploying promised 4 seasons of content for the game through 2024. Now, I'm going to stop back there and just kind of give you my thoughts on that section. All right. We knew going into this that the delays and stuff, everyone was like, we don't really want DC characters shooting guns. It all looks kind of weird. We're shooting pimples on tanks and whatnot. And the game came out, and I said prior, like a year and a half when we first saw it, I said, it looks interesting. I'm going to play it for the story because I like Rocksteady. Up until this point of Suicide Squads, I had no, reason to, not trust Rocksteady and their storytelling. Now, the storytelling in this is, I think, good. I don't think it's great. I think it's entertaining. I think it's a comic book-esque type of story. And so I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed it. I played it. I have over 100 hours of it. Played through the campaign. Put an additional, it took me 21 hours to beat the campaign or whatnot, taking our time. And then we put about another, 80 hours in. We're just over 100 hours in with the end game and whatnot. Now, the game right now is broke. It's 100% broke. A lot of people can't play or get in, can't play multiplayer. It's not progressing people in certain things. And people are like, this game's dead, this game's dead. And people have changed to say that the game's dead on arrival to now it's dead after the Season 4. And I think it's funny to me because it doesn't matter, like, to you and me just playing the game. If you're interested in the game, you buy the game, you play the game, you put down the game, just like any other single-player, multiplayer. It doesn't matter what type of game it is. You play the game, you put the game down, and then you move on. But we like to hang around, like, because it's a live service game, even though Rocksteady themselves said that you don't have to play this game all the time. You can put this game down and come back after the seasons when we add more content. The public, I don't know if it's the Twitter space or the public, feels like this game is dead because, no one's playing it now, and they look at the Steam charts and whatnot, and everyone's like, it's done. Well, they already got your money, okay? Now, there is reports that their PlayStation's giving people's money back, but I don't know what the details of that is, right? I know the person that they're reporting on had like 30 or 36 hours in the game, and then they gave him his money back on PlayStation, so now other people are trying to get their money back. I think a one-and-out type of thing is fine, or a couple. I don't know if PlayStation's going to give everyone their money back, but hey, they did it for Cyberpunk when it came out, so who knows? So they're going to be around because the game itself, and this is my thoughts, right? My thoughts, and a lot of people are pushing back on this, saying after the 4 seasons, they're done. And in the game itself, it shows you the 4 seasons. When we talked to Miller, him talking about the data mine and stuff like that, he said that about 20 months, right, which would give us a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, and that would get through the 6th season, season 6. Now, we know inside the game itself, once you beat the end game, or once you beat the game, it shows Brainiac 13 Brainiacs that you have to beat, and it shows the 4 seasons, and it shows you what the actual seasons are going to be. And then there's 2 extra seasons that they don't show, but there's 13. And it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, right? So there's enough seasons in there where you can tell there's 6 seasons. So everyone says it's done after 4, and WB is not going to support this after that because it's dead on arrival. And I look at it a completely different way. And maybe this is because of my entertainment background and being in the film industry and whatnot. But WB has a lot of money riding on this. Not to say that they put a lot of money into this specifically, but because of the Elseworld, because of James Gunn, because of the movies they're working on, because of the other games they're working on, I think they're using this also as, for instance, Witcher 3 came out years before the actual show, but when the show came out, people started playing Witcher 3 again. When other people started coming out with other games, they went back to go play those other games. Hell, Skull and Bones is out. People are going back to play Black Flag. Little things like this advertise, and people like to go back to certain things. So when people come and watch the movie, the next Wonder Woman movie that comes out, or the next Batman movie that comes out, it doesn't matter if it's attached to that or not, all of a sudden people start playing those things. And I think that's what they're kind of banking on. This was supposed to be their bank on, yeah, sure, they'll get the upfront people to pay for the $70, $100 of the game, and then as the seasons go on, people might come back and play, or other people might play it for the first time. They might pay $50, $40, $30 for that to keep them coming back, okay? Again, Todd Howard famously said it's not how the game comes out, but it's how it finishes, right? So it's not done when it releases, right? So let's continue on. Despite Rocksteady's commitment, the new issues of the problems of Suicide Squad stability are affecting the ability to bring out updates on schedule. Now, the patch notes covering the March 1st Suicide Squad update, including the comment about the next patch. Now, the patch was originally scheduled to deploy next week, indicating the week of March 8th. Now, the patch will also delay an unspecified date. Testing new updates is needed, and a second Suicide Squad patch introduced a new bug that blocked progress for some players. Now, I've said this since week 1. I said the not communicating right off the bat. They were dead silent for 6 days. I was like, this is terrible. This is a bad starting off point for this company, especially when Helldivers came out and they had issues, and they were instantaneously 6 hours in instead of 6 days later. 6 hours in, they're very upfront about what's happening with the game. These guys did the opposite direction. Now, I don't know if that's Rocksteady's call or if that's someone else's call, but or WB's call, but they were dead silent. And I understand they had their, nose to the grindstone here and trying to fix certain things, but this is bad. And I said leading up to this, I said that as long as they don't have the problems like Marvel's Avengers did when they launched, I think, and they're not chasing their tails, they would be fine. Now, I still think they're okay, and the reason is, I think, again, this is just my speculation, I think the DLC that they've worked on, Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's done in the pipeline, and they can focus on what is at hand right now, which is the server issues. Again, I don't know. These are just my speculations. But I feel like the reason that they can do what they're doing right now and not, start freaking out is because that stuff is done. They have to get the servers up and running. If they bring out Season 1 before the servers are fixed, it's idiotic. Okay? You can't bring out new content, update the store, bring out a season pass, and yet people still can't play the game. They have to fix the servers up front to make sure that this game is working going forward. So if and this is the mindset I don't understand. People are upset because the Season 1, because they'll lie to you, right? Like, if Season 1 comes out in April instead of March, people are like, well, they lied to us. But they also want the game to work. But they also want the new content to come out. But they want to make sure their game works, right? Like, the customers are like, you lied to us. You said it was coming out in March, but the game's broke. You can't play it. So what would you rather have? Them to come out with the stuff that you can't play, or them to fix the game? You let me know, okay? So according to Rocksteady's comment, the team must focus on deploying a free Season 1 update in March. Okay, Suicide Squad Season 1 update will add the Joker as a playable character, and will also add new gear, environment, other fresh content for existing players. Well, there's a major problem here. If I can't play with my friends, and I can't play the game, okay, because of crashing issues and stuff, and I can't get into the game, does it really matter if new character comes in, new content comes in, new environment comes in? No, it'll be a really bad experience, especially since they said that it's an online service game all the time, always online. You should have had the offline mode ready to go at launch. Now, again, I'm not the developer, okay, but they made that choice to release the game before the offline mode, and it's coming sometime this year. That said, Rocksteady won't have players interested in seeing more bug fixes in the launch. Rocksteady said that the prioritizing fixing of outstanding multiplayer issues and problems with login, and the update is in the works. It will not require a client-side patch, so players won't have to download a new file or potentially see improvements. Ensuring that the player can essentially access the game should help prevent Suicide Squad player count from dropping further. Now, while disappointing commercial performance, the lukewarm reception from the audience is bad news for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's encouraging to see that Rocksteady is still committed to keeping the game updated constantly with the announcement of post-launch content. Nothing damages a live service prospect more severely than signs that the developer won't support it. So those who are having fun with the game and those who are curious about jumping into Suicide Squad in the near future can at least rest assured that the game will get support through 2024. Now, if you guys remember, we were posting things before the game came out in the fine print. It said that anytime they can just stop supporting the game. They have to at least support the game up to the 4 seasons. Why is this? Because, well, technically they told us that we have 4 seasons coming. And yes, you paid the $70 for that game. And the reason that you paid $70 for that game is because you thought that you're getting the game and 4 seasons. Okay? So it's more of an obligation now. So regardless if the game is broke, buggy, unfinished, they have to at least give, at least in my opinion, have to give their customers and fans. Now, WB might look at it and go, well, there was that fine print. Everyone hit OK on that button. We might just shut the game down and not support it anymore. I think that's highly unlikely. Okay, because WB would lose so much, any kind of goodwill that they have left, because WB is getting shit on in the film industry. They're getting shit on also in the game industry. Now, Gotham Knights didn't do very well. Hogwarts Legacy did very well. This was not doing very well either. Okay, but if they just shut the game down, they would kill any kind of goodwill that they had left. Okay, so I think personally, the game will go through, like Miller said, with the 20 months. I think it will go through Season 6. Once the 4 seasons are done, it will be, that's where they say, in 6 months we're done, type of thing, if it goes that route. I do believe that if they get their shit together, they fix the servers, the game starts to go, and then the cadence that comes in every 3 weeks or every 12 weeks with the seasons, with the story content, I believe they can save what the game is, but I don't see a big chunk of people coming and buying this game in the long run. I do see the player base that bought the game, that was interested in the game, continuing to play the game, and being disappointed once the game shuts down, just like they were for Anthem, just like they were for Marvel's Avengers, and just like Suicide Squad. Now, I'm okay. I played the game. I got my money's worth for it. When the stories come in for Scarecrow or Two-Face or Killer Croc or whoever else is down the line, I'll come back and play it because, to me, it's a comic book, right? Every month I go get the next comic book that I want to read, and once I'm done reading that comic book, I put that comic book down and wait for the next issue to come out. That's the way I'm personally looking at this game. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you feel about Suicide Squad? If you're a person that purchased the game, are you going to continue playing the game as it comes out? You don't have to pay anything else for it. And if you're a person that didn't buy the game, are you waiting to never, ever purchase the game, or are you waiting for it to go on massive sales down the road? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you very much. And if you like what we do here, check out some of our other videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, chat. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Suicide Squad with the patch that's being delayed? Obviously, we're upset about it because we're like, well, we want the game. I want to play the game. I haven't touched the game in about a week now, right? I haven't touched the game in about a week. I've been playing Helldivers. I play about 2-3 matches a night. Okay, I've been playing some Final Fantasy 14. I've been playing some Sea of Thieves. I've been playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I've been playing lots of different things, and I'm enjoying my time with gaming. What's going on, Ghost? What's going on, Kuda Papa? Veteran Gamer says Suicide Squad was fine, but I have Helldivers 2. And that's what I'm playing right now. I'm loving Helldivers 2 in short bursts, though. I'm not sitting there for like 4 hours, 5 hours playing. I like going in, doing a couple missions, right? Get my medals up, maybe go up one level. I'm like just shy of level 24 now. And I just finished my completion of 100 missions in Helldivers. I'm enjoying that. I'm also enjoying a lot of other games. Now, am I disappointed at Suicide Squad? I'm not really disappointed in Suicide Squad, right? I got what I paid for, right? And you guys can go back and check any of my other videos within the last year. I said why I was playing Suicide Squad. I did exactly what I said. I'm playing for the campaign. Once the campaign is done, anything else was bonus. Well, I played for 21 hours for the campaign. I played for an additional 79 hours for endgame stuff, and I kind of put it down right now. And it's not because the game is bad. It's just because I'm kind of done playing the game until the next thing comes out, right? So I'm okay if they delay the stuff as long as when they delay it, it comes out and then it's fixed, okay? I don't want to keep chasing this, and this goes for any game, right? I don't want to all of a sudden play the game. Great, they fix the servers, and then all of a sudden Season 1 comes out, and now there's a major bug in Season 1, and then I have to wait for Season 2. Then I got to wait for Season 3. We are now a month and a week, about 5 weeks into the launch of this game, and we're still having issues. This is exactly what happened with Marvel's Avengers as well, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look, and I understand as a customer, you could be upset. Each one of us, has a different temperament of what they like or what they don't like or what they can deal with and what they can't deal with, right? I get road rage when someone, makes a left-hand turn from the right-hand lane. I lose my mind, okay? Other people are like, oh, it's okay, just let them go, right? So each their own, okay? I think Suicide Squad will make the year. It will make up until the 20 months. I believe that because WB invested so much money into this. I don't feel like they cut their losses. This is not a make a game just to make the license type of thing, right? Madam Web was created by Sony just so they can keep the license going. Okay, that's a tax write-off. This is not a tax write-off for WB. I believe that this game for WB was a big attachment to all the future DC movies that are coming out. Unfortunately, it didn't sell as well as they wanted it to. What that sales numbers is, or comparing it to Hogwarts Legacy last year, that's for them to know and us to find out in some leak later. I think they damned if they do, damned if they don't. They are, Salty. They are. But at the same time, I feel like the game will make it at least the year. Think about how broke Anthem was, right? Think about how broke Anthem was, and it made it 2.5 years. Think about Marvel's Avengers, how broke it was, and it made it almost it made 3 years. Suicide Squad is a better game. Fundamentally, it's a better game than both of those two other games that I've said. Okay? Now, obviously, there are problems with Suicide Squad, but it's a better game than both Marvel's Avengers and Anthem at launch. Tiny 2 says, damn customers asking for fixes of season content. How dare they? Yeah, but Tiny, they're frustrated because it's broke, but they're also upset now that they might not get the update, right? The free season 1 because the game is broke, right? So what would you rather have? A broken season 1 or a fixed game and then season 1, right? Best Buy is dropping SpongeBob Special Edition Series X. I need it. What's going on, Turn? Nothing is more sad than a dev wanting to have forced multiplayer online game and then online aspect not working properly. That's the bed they made, and now they have to lay in it, though, Altern, right? We said ahead of time, we need an offline mode. We need an offline mode. Anthem was in a really bad state. I know. And it lasted over 2 years. That's the crazy part. I mean, here's the thing. Just take Suicide Squad's name out of this, right? Insert game here needs a fix, right? Doesn't matter what game it is, right? I want to know how, and I understand that the same people that bought Cyberpunk or the same people that bought Battlefield, they're all different, okay? But if Battlefield 2042 came out broke, buggy, unfinished, and people bought it, played it, right? Cyberpunk came out broke, buggy, unfinished, people bought it, played it, okay? Those can make comebacks, but this game is not allowed to make a comeback, right? This game is not allowed to make a comeback, right? Insert game here. Certain games can make a comeback. Other games are not allowed. Why? Why? Papa says Destiny 2 has been in a bad spot for years and it's still going. Yeah, because Destiny's just hot. She's a hot girl. She can't do anything wrong. Alter says the good thing is that at least the moment, the only thing that they can need to fix is the matchmaking online aspect, not the entire game. Right, that's what I'm saying. The game itself is not broke or buggy. Like, the fundamentals of the game is not broke or buggy. The online aspect that they forced on us is the part that's broken buggy. Brainchild, what's going on? Anthem servers still up? I asked because, yes, Anthem failed, but the servers are still up. You know what, Brain? You're absolutely right. It's lasted even 5 years because the servers are still up. You can still play that game. You're 100% correct. You're right. You can still go back right now and play Anthem. They made their money and they moved on. Absolutely right. You can still play Marvel's Avengers. It's delisted, but if you have it, you can still play it. Eric says 99% of the fan base wants to play as Batman. I don't. I know, Eric, that stat 99. I played I can still play Batman. I can go back and play Batman right now. Demir says not defending Suicide Squad, but Fallout 76 is still going. That's right. Right? All of these games that people say that are broke, buggy, unfinished, they're still going. They're still playing. There's still people playing. There's still a player base, right? I'm not saying you, Demir, right? But anybody, like you, might not like this particular game. Most people that are bitching about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, didn't even buy the game. That's the crazy part. The people that didn't even buy the game are the ones bitching about the game. Which is amazing to me, right? Now, the people that actually bought the game, they're complaining because they can't play online multiplayer. And now those people are complaining that they're not going to get an update because Season 1's coming, right? No matter when you release a date, everyone's like, oh, first season's coming out in March. They think March 1st. You should always think March 31st, right? When someone says it comes out in a month, don't say day 1. Think the last day possible, okay? When someone says a game's come out in 2024, just assume it's December 31st. Unless they give you a specific date. You want to play Batman, go play Batman. Exactly, Dolphin. Just remember, if you're really good DLC, you can always get the best ongoing game. That's right, Eclipse. That's right. Remember, not even making DLC now. You can just fix your game over the next couple years. You can be the best ongoing game. All right. This next story I want to talk about, which is sort of connecting Suicide Squad. A lot of Suicide Squad topics this morning, right? The next topic I want to talk about is going around, and it's the Sweet Baby Inc. staff throws tantrum after Steam Creator list created to track warn players against their work. Now, if you want to hear about the guy who did this, he had an interview with Asma Goal. I think it came out last night or this morning or whatever. You can go listen to that. Now, whatever you think about Sweet Baby Inc., if you're like, fuck them, I don't want to support their games, cool. I'm not here to judge. We're here to read the article, and I'll give you my thoughts on what I believe it is. Okay? Now, personally, in Suicide Squad, I don't think what they've done is why the game sucks. Okay? I don't. Okay? I think the reason the game has problems is because the people didn't want a Batman game, and they didn't want their superheroes or non-superheroes to use guns in the game. I think that's why. It's the live service, okay, and it's the not Batman game, okay? I don't think it has anything specifically with Suicide Squads for Sweet Baby Inc. Now, mind you, they did work on other games, and we'll go into that, okay? If you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday. We just read articles, have conversations, right? And I give you my thoughts based on the article, okay? So if stuff comes out after I read the article and people are like, well, that's not what they said, this is me reading this article and giving you my thoughts on the article, okay? If stuff comes afterwards, so be it. You know, I can't be a fortune teller about everything. All right, so Sweet Baby Inc. staff throws tantrum after Steam Curator list created to track warn players against their work. Okay, despite building an entire business forcefully injecting identity politics into video games, employees of the inclusion-focused narrative consultation company Sweet Baby Inc. are absolutely livid at the Steam user who's begun taking steps to ensure that the public knows exactly which specific titles they've worked on. Now, real quick, before I even continue on to this, okay, I didn't read this article yet, but I did know they were talking about this, and on their site, Sweet Baby, on their site themselves, they list the games that they worked on. So let me get this straight. They work on games, consulting and whatever for diversity, inclusion, okay? And they list their games on their site publicly. But then this guy makes it on Steam, and they don't like it. So they're okay announcing what games they're working on their site, but they're not okay with him doing it on Steam. Just want to make sure I got this, okay? So self-described inclusion-focused narrative and conclusion company, Sweet Baby Inc.'s main objective is to review, edit, and give video scripts through the lens of diversity and inclusion, okay? Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying, enriching the video games industry. Now, I have a question. Let's take that example. Let's take that example for a second. I'm just going to take that self-described inclusion and focus narrative. Now, our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories. Was Suicide Squad in this example, did their inclusion, diversity make the story better because they made it more empathetic? Did it bring anything new to what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was? I don't know. It's subjective, and you let me know in the comment section down below if you played the game, right? Writers of the company on either official list or website, we aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Now, I would think that's the developer's job, not a consulting firm's job, right? Because let's go one by one. We aim to make games more engaging. Well, to make it more engaging, you would have to make the game fun, okay? I really don't care if someone's bisexual, lesbian, straight, right? That doesn't bring more engagement or more fun to my gaming experience, okay? More meaningful. None of that is based on who the NPCs, zeros and ones, who they have sex with or not have sex with. It brings absolutely nothing more inclusiveness for everyone. It has nothing to do. Just tell me the story you're trying to tell me, okay? Now, if I'm watching a porno and the pizza guy comes in and wants to do something, it's part of the story, okay? But other than that, if I'm playing a superhero character, or if I'm playing a war or something, it doesn't really matter to me what your sexual preference is, all right, personally, okay? Now, it says, we believe in representation. The key is connecting players and audiences, and we offer a few ways to help your team project to gain perspective needed to make it happen. Their mission statement continues. It says, quote, we are part of inclusive acknowledgement, community diversity consultants, able to cover a wide range of culture, sensitivity topics, okay? Again, I'm going to use Suicide Squad as the example here. Now, diversity consultants able to cover a wide range of culture and sensitivity topics. If they put anything into this game, they should have been more sensitive to the people that didn't want Batman to die, or Superman to die, or the Flash to die, right? And I'm being facetious here, because if they were more wide range of cultures and sensitivity topics, they would know that the fans of the Suicide Squad and the Justice League would be very sensitive if, right? So it says, our approach leads to creation of the joy marginalized players and seeks the addictive rather than strictly corrective. Now, I want to make it clear that I know that the person, because a person came out and said that the Sweet Baby Inc. had nothing to do with the story elements of Suicide Squad, okay? Now, a lot of people think they did. Now, and I'm being facetious as I'm reading this, using Suicide Squads as the example. None of the things that they've said in this article that they stand for is anything that they happened in Suicide Squads, okay? Now, it says, most notably, Sweet Baby Inc. has provided sensitivity reading for Alan Wake 2, Goodbye Volcano High, narrative characters consultant, and focus of representation of God of War Ragnarok. Because that's what I want. I want my gods to have representation, fake gods, to have representation of what they are. Now, the story consultant of Marvel Spider-Man 2 and the scriptwriting duties include cutscenes and banter for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, I didn't play Spider-Man 2, so I can't really talk about God of War Ragnarok. I haven't played Alan Wake. I haven't played Spider-Man 2, so I don't really know what type of stuff went into those games. And those of you that are in the comment section or in the live chat can let me know everything that we read so far about what Sweet Baby Inc. does. Did they make those games better for you to have diversity inclusion in those three games that I didn't play? Alan Wake, Spider-Man 2, and God of War Ragnarok. Let me know in the comment section down below, okay? They've also provided unspecified support for Xbox Studios, EA, Valve, Santa Monica Studios, 2K, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Warner Brothers Games, Wizards of the Coast, and more. In the light of both of their self-declared missions and many questionable narrative decisions seen in the games they've worked on, such as a race-swapping Nord's God in God of War Ragnarok, or pretty much every piece of dialogue in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in recent years, have Sweet Baby Inc. come to be seen as a key player in the Western video game industry, ongoing difference of the ESG and the DEI philosophies. Okay? It says, to this end, tail end of February 2024 saw unsatisfied player created a public Steam page, apparently the Sweet Baby Inc. detected, which initiates the warning of others regardless of the titles available on platform featured companies handiwork. Alongside making these relevant and non-recommended pages also provides proof, often screenshots of the company's own website and tweets that Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in these given titles. So remember, this company is about inclusion, about diversity, about bringing people together to make it more, okay? Now, despite the listing being curated both based on publicly available information and with the intent to warn consumers, no different than those that heart of similar stream current pages, bringing attention to instance of the censorship of DRM, right? The fact that it's centered on work specifically led to public outcry over the existing from Sweet Baby Inc.'s employees, right? So the employees of this firm, who are all about inclusion, diversity, and bringing people together, are attacking somebody to try to cancel them. Since this time has happened, the man's gone from like 9,000 followers to over 100,000 followers. So really, good job. Good job to Sweet Baby Inc. giving promotion to the person they hated. They've done the Streisand effect, bringing more attention to the person that they didn't want to bring attention to. So fantastic. Okay. Quote, it says, it gets to see a lot of tweets somehow blaming diversity as a reason of layoffs generally, as its economy as doing really great capitalism simply worked before Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and they also didn't recognize Miles as Spider-Man. Began Kramer. Okay, those who work in history also includes stints of PR managers of Gamergate investigator Zoe Quinn. Is also an employee of the Silver String Media consulting firm. Okay, so the weirdest part of this is it takes the developers or people who have dev bios, at least in the same passive-aggressive insert. I don't know if it seems wild, or the dev would be thousands of layoffs and blame the industry giants, but instead a 15-person narrative company founded by a black woman. Okay, if you guys don't know, this person went off on Twitter, and there's other videos out there. Oh no, it's Alex has made a video. Lots of other, Demion made a video of stuff as well. It says these people think the company narrative designers and freelancer projects has somehow single-handedly caused the employee collapse in games. Instead, you also insane notion to infinite growth of capitalism greed. Okay? It says, I still think there's way more likely to know that there's more case or just fine looking at stupid so long as it justifies them being loudly anti-woke, whatever that means. We all know what it means, wrote Sweet Baby Inc. employee. Okay? So the other part of this doesn't matter if you tell me the truth. Since then claim they think that the DEI just steps in and changes the whole game. The creators are forced by some unseen hand and the government BlackRock, I guess, as well as the POC in general that make games more inclusive. Fighting misinformation would be great, but social media plus YouTube is not equipped to hold people accountable for doing real research in good faith. Her blustering went on, and she gets hits and providing the point of absent confirmation that the wild out there, nothing has changed, nothing. Offering a sarcastic caveat, a previous statement, Kramer also next declared, no one thing has changed. The number of people who understand that spreading misinformation just lets them be racist in public with no consequence or increase dramatically. That has changed, and she said probably requires some fighting for those authority. Finally, again on the Steam Curator page, Kramer criticized, for example, Steam doesn't have guidelines for this as far as I can tell. They would prevent someone from starting a curating group that focuses on, say, Sweet Baby Inc. and warns people not to buy games that they're associated with, which also could just list any game at all. Now, here's the thing. It's a beautiful world that we live in, that we're allowed to say what we want to say, right? Now, all this person did that made this curated page to say, hey, if you're a person that believes in that these group of people are making games bad, and we're just giving you the information based on their public persona on their website themselves, a lot of people don't even know what Sweet Baby Inc. is. I didn't know what Sweet Baby Inc. was 3 months ago when people started bringing it up. I was like, what is that? Okay. Now this person has taken the public information off of their website and brought it to the Steam page, because most people that buy video games are not going to go to their website to look at what games they've made. They don't even know who the company is. But now they brought it to the forefront, and they don't like it. They don't like it. They're okay by putting their stuff on their pages, but they don't want other people to know that they worked on that stuff, even though they publicly posted on their website. Now, they don't like what's happening here, so they're going after the person that put this out there, and that's very inclusive, isn't it? I just find it the hypocrisy of this company that makes certain things so everyone feels included and whatnot, and this person is just doing what they feel, right? If I don't want to shop at Walmart because of things they do outside of their business, that's my business, right? I can choose who I want to shop at, who I want to give money to, based on the information I have. So the person that did this did a thing for the public. Hey, if you don't like this game or this game, these two things are associated. Now, he's not saying that these things are reason why these games did bad or good, because these games didn't do bad, right? If you look at certain games here, God of War Ragnarok was, at the time, the highest selling game when it came out. Okay, Alan Wake 2, the best published game they've ever made up to this point. Spider-Man 2, the largest PlayStation game up to this point, right? Sable won narrative of 2021. Suicide Squad did shit. Now, did Suicide Squad fail because of Sweet Baby Inc.? No, it bailed because it wasn't a Batman game, okay? Skull and Bones sucks balls. And that has nothing to do with Sweet Baby Inc. That's because it's a bad game. Okay? So you as the consumer can take whatever you want. You could say that the games suck because this company is involved. You can say it doesn't suck because this company is involved. To me, that's not my choice to let you know if it sucks or not because of this company. All I think is that this company is pretty shitty for going after an individual who was just taking stuff from their public webpage and letting people know that, hey, if you don't like this type of stuff, this is the company that's part of this thing. If you don't want to support it, you have the information now to support or not support. And that is the actual information that this person is giving. Okay, these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think Sweet Baby Inc. is the reason that these video games suck? Or do the video games suck because they're just bad video games for certain people, right? Not every game is meant for every person. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. This is what you guys are saying. To be honest, they need to make Pizza Guy more diverse. They can't work Domino's at all the type. Geez, Spider-Man 2 is full on. Is it? I don't know. I didn't play it, Paul. I didn't play it. God of War Ragnarok was all right. God of War was only good one. Jason says. Reese says Spider-Man 2 story was terrible. I'm sure they helps. Spider-Man 2 sucked. Billy Ghost says Spider-Man 2 Mary Jane stronger than both super-powered individuals. Salty says forced diversity doesn't solve anything. We've had natural diversity through the 80s and now from movies to the gaming. Yeah, growing up in the 80s, man, obviously there's racism everywhere, right? And there's racism meaning everywhere, meaning people are racist against blacks, people are racist against whites, people are racist against gays, people are racist, right? But that's such a small, minute, you know what I'm saying? The only reason it's amplified so much today in 2024 is because of social media. Any asshole could just tweet out anything they want and say what they want with no repercussions, right? But if you were racist in front of somebody, you're going to get a fist in your face and magically you're not racist anymore. You know what I mean? Diversity is fine. The problem that people have with this diversity stuff is that when I play a game, if I watched the movie in the 80s or 90s, the movie wasn't said, Sylvester Stallone, straight white male, is Rambo, right? They don't say that. They just tell you what the story is, right? John Rambo, taking revenge, right? But now, movies, TV shows, video games, articles come out, first female character, first gay character, first black character, first non-white character. Like, they shove it down your face, and that's not what it is. You, me, everybody else doesn't care what the sexuality or what they care about, okay, in an action film or action movie or anything. We just want to play video games, okay? And that's the difference. They don't see it. They don't see it. It's not about the diversity and inclusion. It's about you shoving it down our faces is why we don't like it. Or says, I don't know who or what until they heard a few months ago. I thought the company was made candy. Apparently, the company ruined shit. I have a question, though. Are they really making games bad, though? Again, Mo, that's for each of you to decide yourself, okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you politically don't stand with the owner of a company, said company voted opposite of you, and you want to boycott that company, that's your right as a human being on the planet Earth. Okay, so if someone says that they are ruining games and someone says they're not ruining games, that's each your own to decide. And if that's what you believe, that's what you believe, right? Kuda Papa says, have a good day. I'm going to be hopefully fly. Nice, Akuda. Travel safe. Let's see here. I love how they act like the ESG and the DEI or conspiracy when the direct statement from the leadership confirming it. So by logic, Spider-Man 2 was bad, Ragnarok was bad. Correct, Mo. That's what I'm saying. Like, games are good and games are bad. Are they good or bad because of this one particular company? Or are they good and bad because they stand on their own merits of being a good or bad game? Eclipse says, actually, Asman had an interview with them yesterday, and he said that they had a lot down from his list because he doesn't have the proof, and they worked on Starfield and a couple of other games. Ragnarok was good, but Spider-Man sucked. Yeah, but isn't that just subjective based on the person that likes what they like or don't like what they like? Sweet Baby Inc. helped create a bad image for Suicide Squad. Skull and Bones is bad because they didn't have a Black Flag gameplay. Really, who thought the minigame was cutting down trees and Go's idea? Well, Veteran Gamer, let's be honest. There was a lot of people that didn't even know Sweet Baby Inc. was involved with Suicide Squad, right? So to say that they gave Suicide Squad a bad image, the bad image of Suicide Squad came because it wasn't a Batman game. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? It wasn't a Batman game. That's where it started. And then it escalated into other things. I don't care about diversity or inclusion over a great story and fun gaming experience. Go create something original. Stop messing with the established IP. Cybersword, 100%, right? 100%. Like, for instance, right? The articles that come out and say that King Shark is bisexual. He's a fucking shark. He's a fucking shark. A talking, walking demigod shark. Why do I care if he's bisexual? Do you know what I mean? That shouldn't come up in a conversation. That's like me introducing myself is, hey, what's your name? Oh, I'm straight. And then my pronouns and then my name. You would never in a million years go up to someone and go, what's your pronouns? As a conversation, you would just say, hi, my name is Mike. And then as you get to know the person, right? As you get to know the person, you would find out down the road if they're straight, gay, bisexual, they like to hug trees, whatever. Okay? And that is the problem. It's the thing. This is the character coming out, Suicide Squad coming out, and guess what? King Shark is bisexual. Gotham Knights comes out, and Robin's gay. Like, what does that have to do with the story? That's why people don't like what's happening. It's not that the person's gay or the person's bisexual. That's what they're using as the advertisement to push the sales of the game, right? That is the problem. They didn't do that. They didn't do that in the 80s and 90s for movies and games. They just promoted the game for what it was. Hell, even the early 2000s. There's opinions about bad games based on preferences, and there's actual mechanics in the game. And then they can also judge to say the game is broken or not. If the mechanics are broken, it's bad. Especially if you can get your arms all the way around a small tree. Small tree. Salty says, when it comes to diversity and inclusion, their sexuality is more important than writing something entertaining and have a problem. We expect everyone, or respect everyone, and I want fun, good writing, and entertainment. That's all we want, right? You guys see that clip today, right? Gamers are getting a little out of hand. I don't even want to show it, right? It's nothing big or bad, right? Final Fantasy Rebirth came out. A guy jumped into the water, came out, and said, this is the problem with video games today. He's like, there's no precipitation or whatever coming off. And I'm like, bro, the graphics are, like, phenomenal, right? Like, he came out of the water, and because there wasn't dripping water coming off the guy was losing it, right? And I'm like, this is the problem? This is your problem with Final Fantasy Rebirth? It's like, what are we talking about, man? right? Oh, we accept everyone. When I read it, Salty, I don't need glasses. When I read it, is like I thought you said we respect everyone, we accept everyone. I got it. I got it. Look, listen, Salty. There's people that type in here all the time, and shit doesn't make sense, and I have to piece it together, right? If it's because they're typing on a phone, or if English is not their first language, right? So sometimes I have to make corrections, and sometimes it's correct, and I make the corrections, and it's not corrected. They killed movies with this crap. They're trying to kill games. With what crap, Reese? Just the stuff that they nitpick on stuff? Who actually brought up this Sweet Baby Inc., folks? Because apparently they've been here for a while. Yeah, they've been around for a couple of... Yeah, here's the thing, though, Mo. Alex... oh, no, it's Alex had a video. It popped up on my channel, and someone else made a video, Edemion. And there is a correlation to the people that work for this company that also did Gamergate back a decade ago. Same people are attached to both companies. Okay? So those of you that remember Gamergate a decade ago and what this company is, I kind of find it weird. Okay? We understand that your gender identity is important for you, but the reality is we actually don't care about that. We're here to play video games. If you make a video game and the story has to do with that, cool. But if the story has to do with action star going through the story and nothing throughout the story comes up in any way, shape, or form, to need that information, there's no reason to have that information. You know what I mean? Remember Puddlegate for Spider-Man? Yeah. Yeah. Explain Gamergate? I won't, Titan. You can go back. There's plenty of information that you can go. I'm not going to derail the show for Gamergate. You guys can go look it up. History's there. Because it's not a 2-second like description. Reese says, nah, they've never been COO. People saw the problems with the games and they involved it before they knew it was them. Did some digging and found the source. Right. And this is what I say, Reese. I look out the window, my grass is green. Okay? It looks beautiful. But if I want to find bugs, if I get down on my hands and knees and look in the grass, I'm going to find bugs that could be... $30, do you not like Nod games? What's Nod? My niece, now nephew, would disagree. If you even set any ideas, expectations that she is a girl and not a boy, she loses her shit. For what he set up above? In context, I can understand that. Because you're if she's a boy and you call her a girl, of course she'll lose her shit. But if Nathan Drake all of a sudden turns from a boy to a girl, why is that important to the story? Unless it's part of the story. Right? If Nathan Drake changes genders, unless it's part of the story, why as video gamers would we care? Ron Slusher says, giant shark with machine guns, inclusion of what? Sharks everywhere. Don't nod games. Don't nod. Developer. Oh, developer. I don't play those games. Right? Life is Strange, because it doesn't appeal to me. If someone likes those games and plays those games, by all means. Like, do you ever see me, Mo, ever bring up a game that I don't like and bring it up and talk about it 10 ways from Friday because I disagree or something with it? Oh. There's games out there, and that's an original story, telling a story about people. And then those people that like that thing play the game. Yeah, English is not my first language either. Not liking a game and talking about it every day is just awkward. Yeah, it's weird to me. I have no problem with their games. Just not a game for me, right? Just like if I play a American Truck Simulator, you're like, that game looks boring. You know what I mean? I don't judge a game based on what the sexuality is of the characters. I like a game or don't like a game based on the mechanics of the game that is interesting to me, right? Sometimes they blur the line, though, veteran. Sometimes they blur the line, right? Sometimes we can't help but talk about it because they bring it in. They also worked on Last of Us 2. Also, I believe. I mean, you can look it up on the guy's site. He has all the games listed. Let me see. How do you get to his no link to it? Oh, there it is. Sweet baby. I guess if I click on this, oh, that's a picture. I can't click on that. Like the person that's part of the company is trying to cancel the person. Well, the person that made the curated site is just listing things that are publicly known. I've only played for 5 hours, Brain, for Final Fantasy 14. I've literally barely got out of the first area, right? I'm like level 9, I think. I'm a marauder, and that's all I've played. So I haven't put in too much time. This was your introduction of name comment. So Z, your niece, now nephew, first thing she says when she introduces herself is that her binary gender and then her name. So someone says, "Hi, my name is Mike," and then they're gonna tell me their sexual preference before their name. No, I'm not gonna try banishers, Mo. She's upset if you don't know her gender first. That sounds like a personal problem. Because in reality, Z, and again, if I'm offending you or your niece or anyone, I'm sorry. But when I introduce myself, I'm going to say, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Mike. I'm not going to tell you, hi, I'm a white straight male. I identify as a tree, and my name is Mike. That's not happening. That's not happening. Okay? Because none of those things I said before my name, I care about. She hates everyone in the world now. Well, how old is she? I'm sorry. He? She hates everyone. All right. Oh, see, you did it too. He. $30. So when did they switch? Recently, or was it years and years and years ago? And the only reason I'm asking, before I even see your answer, is that if you know someone for 29 years and they're one way, and then all of a sudden they switch the other direction, which is fine. I'm not judging. Okay? If all of a sudden I'm supposed to take 29 years of knowing who you are, saying what your name is, and if I mess up, right, a week after, 2 weeks after, a month after, even a year after, like, for you to hate me when I known you for 29 years, it's going to be a little weird to say it correctly that you want me to say, right? Now, if I'm brand new and the first thing you do is if I meet you in person, I mean this, and the first thing out of your mouth is, hi, I'm Mike, and then you tell me your name, but you tell me everything before your name, I'll just walk away from that because that's just too much for me, right? Because I don't need to know all that. Let me know who you are first, and then if I want to get to know you, you can tell me about the stuff afterwards. But that's just me personally. I don't mind being corrected, but don't do the shit of the malice of why cop an attitude off the bat. Right. Last few years, therapy turned a bit bitter, right? Even if grandma can't mess up. That's what I'm saying. You know, your whole life, you're one thing, and then all of a sudden, because you switched, everyone has to make that change right away. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. Can you imagine going on a first date with somebody and all of a sudden they tell you all their laundry ahead of time, right? And this has nothing to do with sexual preference or anything. Imagine meeting someone for the very first time and all of a sudden they just tell everything up front. What are you going to do on that date? You're going to be like, that's too much for me. And you're going to walk away, right? You're going to walk away, right? You want to meet that person, get to know that person, and then you make a bond with that person. Salty says that's a lot of people's personality, Mike. Name, hi, how are you? And then go into the social media and fried their young people's minds. Yeah, it's weird to me. You wouldn't know my sexual preference for like months if we became friends. If ever, to be honest. I identify as a polar bear in pronouns, or you're majestic and master. 30's just like, nope, that's right. That's right. Because there's no reason. If you can't have a simple conversation of me introducing myself and you introduce yourself, and then we have a conversation about whatever, unless the topic is specifically what is your thing, which would never come out of my mouth for someone I never met. Right, alien. Right? A lot of the languages don't even have the equivalent of they or neutral gender pronouns. It's weird. Look, again, I have family members that are gay. I have family members that are bisexual. I have family members. I don't think we have a transgender. We might. I don't know. Okay? At least no one's come out to us. Okay? I have no problem with anyone's sexuality. I have a problem, though, if the way you identify is your identity before your name. When I say, hey, I'm Mike, what's your name? If you have a whole bunch of stuff before your name, I don't care. I'll just you can go talk to somebody else that wants to, right? Because that's not how conversation works. I identify as Bruce Banner. Which one, Water? Marvel's Bruce Banner? Or like the real Bruce Banner? There's a difference. There's a difference. Titans says Beta Banner, yeah. All right, so we got the Sweet Baby one out of the way. We're gonna watch Kingard's video. If you guys didn't know, IGN had a hate boner. Maybe they still do. IGN had a hate boner for Rocksteady and Suicide Squad. Now, Salty, I respect everybody. I respect everybody. But respect goes both ways, right? Respect goes both ways. If you can't answer a simple question of what your name is without putting all the stuff ahead of that, I'm good. If you can't have a simple conversation, oh, they have a love boner for Helldivers 2 now? I haven't really been following them. I stopped really reading stuff about him and whatnot. All right, we're gonna bring up Kingard's video here. All right, so Kingard did a video. I think it's about 5-6 days old now, and it's called IGN and Rocksteady's beef was wild. Okay, so we're gonna react to this. Here we go. Let me make sure the volume is up. All right.
Welcome to tonight's matchup, ladies and gentlemen. In the red corner, we have the highly esteemed publisher of reviews such as a 2 out of 10 for Just Dance because all you do is dance, and a 5.9 for Alien Isolation because it was...
That starts off great. That's it? No, really, that's all you do. A 2 out of 10 because dance, you just dance. Is that what they said? Please tell me that's true. Too much dancing and Just Dance.
Dance because all you do is dance. And a 5.9 for Alien Isolation because it was hard on hard mode. Please welcome...
It's hard on hard mode. Oh, for God's sakes. You know what? These have to be true. This has to be true.
Welcome IGN. And in the blue corner, we have the studio behind the critically acclaimed Batman Arkham series, who have recently turned live service lapdog...
Put a battle pass in it. Make it suck.
Warner Brothers Games with their release of Slip and Slide Squad. Give it up for Rocksteady.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that sub. Appreciate that.
At face value, this rivalry probably kind of looks just like bad game plus bad review equals bad blood, but the tension between these two seems to go a lot deeper than that, for some reason. One might say that putting it that simply wouldn't quite do the story justice.
Come on.
Oh, brother, this guy.
On the one hand,
Oh man, Kingert, I love your editing style. I love your editing style.
we've got gaming journalists whose opinions are definitely not swayed by sponsorships, professional relationships, or online bandwagons. Unless, of course, a reviewer gives a game a 10 out of 10, then later gets hired by the studio who made.
That's interesting, huh? Let me rewind that a second. Okay.
Sponsorships, professional relationships, or online bandwagons. Unless, of course, a reviewer gives a game a 10 out of 10, then later gets hired by the studio who made the game. Not sketchy at all. Unreliable journalism, live service games, well, I hate both of these things, so who less biased to comment on this story than me? Oh, and so that
I love that. He knows. He's like, yeah.
you know where I stand with this game, my super controversial take on it is...
Yeah, it's mid. I like Suicide Squads. I don't think it's a fantastic game, but I enjoy it.
I think it's just...
I had no problem with IGN's, score of it. Okay? I have a problem with their score based on what they said. They gave a lot of good stuff in there, and then they gave it a mid-tier score, where they gave other things where they shit on the game, and they gave it a better score. Just kind of weird.
Just mid. The game's mid. But so that you don't get the wrong idea, this video will not be shilling for this game or huffing copium just for the sake of dogging on IGN. I'm not going to pretend to like this game more than I do just to make a point. But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend to dislike this game.
I love... How long does it take him to come up with, like, I'm going to use that clip. I'm going to use from Full Metal Jacket the clip from there.
More than I do just for the sake of being agreeable with the internet.
Do it. Do it.
No matter what anybody tells you, we're allowed to point out IGN's flawed logic and hypocrisy, while also thinking this game is mediocre at the same time. I don't think it's trash. I'd be lying if I said I didn't at least have some fun while I was playing it. Yeah, see ya. What is that? Hold flashlight. Oh! What was that?
Come on. You fell for the... You fell... It was in Batman Arkham. That's how he explodes.
What was that? Of course, it's him.
Did Harley just mock me? I don't know who with a Boston accent is in a place to mock anybody. Or is it a Jersey accent? I don't know what it is. Ugh. But I really don't think it's worth $70 either.
And I agree with that. It's not worth $70. It's definitely not worth $100. This is why I said if you wait to it to go on sale, minimum $50. But I think it's like a $40 game.
Plus, full-priced game.
But at the same time, $40 for this. If you buy it down the road, okay, like Season 4, it will be $40 or less. And yet, you're going to get more content for that price.
Games that have microtransactions in them, day one is arguably the greatest sin of mankind.
I agree.
Yeah, forget all that Apple stuff. This right here, yeah, this is why we're getting an apocalypse. Please save us, Nick Cage. We can safely add Unalive Squad to the pile of fully priced virtual magazines pretending to be video games. What's that? Are games too repetitive? Well, if you want more content, buy a $10 shirt for Captain Boomerang and we'll make it more fun.
That's right. Cosmetics always make a game more fun, especially if they're in first person. But at least this game's in third person.
Maybe. I'd recommend Guardians of the Galaxy instead any day. Single player, no live service, and emphasis on story. That game slaps. So yeah, there. But seriously, no matter which way you swing...
It's all right, Kingert. I just went down a whole rabbit hole of stuff. Someone will probably clip out something.
No matter which direction on the pendulum you swing with this game... IGN's absolute vendetta against it is still hilarious to look at, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And also, big shout out to my friend 30...
Oh shit! That's me!
And Still Gaming for helping me compile this timeline of events. Go check out the guy's channel for your daily dose of gaming updates.
Hit that button. Hit that button.
And based takes. Anywho,
Base takes. Thanks, Kinger. Appreciate that.
somebody ordered a metaphorical hit on Rocksteady, and IGN said, sign me up. So let's get into it. After they got to play a hands-on preview of Unalive Squad, IGN posted their impressions on January 9th by Destin Legary. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And it very plainly stated in the headline.
Well, Jax, he asked about how many times did IGN tweet out and stuff like that. And I already did some research and stuff like that I posted in my Discord. So I didn't know he was making a video of it. So
We played it and didn't like it. Even though there was some optimism in this article, the headline was very strongly worded.
He stinks and I don't like him.
And it gave plenty of people an idea as to what IGN's stance was on this game without actually having to open the article. But what's wrong with that, Kingard? Haven't you criticized when people are optimistic after promotional play sessions? Yes, absolutely, but let's take a look at what exactly this article says was wrong with the game.
Oh, this is the one that talks about Batman. It's not a Batman game, right? It's not the Batman game we wanted.
Also keep in mind the hate train for this game had already left the station by the time this article came out. And I'm sure that had no impact on what IGN
No, X for doubt.
had to say about the game. Well, first off, writer Destin didn't like the whole premise of incapacitating the Justice League in the first place. Well, that's odd. IGN didn't seem to have a problem with offing Justice League.
This is my point, right? I don't like that you killed Justice League members. Exhibit A.
Members in Injustice or Injustice 2.
Yeah, 8.2 and 9 for killing the Justice League members. Amazing.
And I get there's different IGN writers who put out different opinions, but if IGN really wanted to avoid having one person's opinion be known as the IGN opinion, then I would think they'd post multiple reviews of the same game written by different people. I mean, having different opinions under IGN gave us this infamous clip.
I think we're at the point where we need to admit that this was never really a great franchise, and that was never really actually there.
Sonic was never good.
Yeah, it was.
Sonic was never good.
25-year lie.
Yes. Sonic was never good. If you disagree, you can call the cops.
Oh my god. What is wrong with...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
2,000 years later.
You're right. I was wrong. When I went on that show, I was remarking on what had been like a recent era, and what happened there is I ended up speaking on behalf of all of IGN, and that's unfair, is that Sonic has been good, and it's Crash Bandicoot that's never been.
he switched from Sonic to Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, okay, here we go.
And possibly and probably deleted their article glazing Rose Tico from The Last Jedi. Rose Tico.
Who got destroyed? Who got destroyed, Jax? That's BS. They got destroyed for this? Who got destroyed for this? IGN got destroyed for an 8.2 and 9 for Justice League? Or for Injustice? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't get destroyed. He's not... See, you're taking it out of context. The context thing, though, is that... Oh, for the Sonic. Okay. I thought you were talking about the Justice League getting killed off. Right? Because he's using them as an example of the reason they had problems because the Justice League was dying, but they didn't have a problem when Justice League died inside that game. Right? You're talking about the Sonic. Yeah, that's what he's saying. They got destroyed for it.
Tico absolutely steals the show, which I mysteriously can't...
Wait a minute. What happened to Rose Tico?
And probably deleted their article glazing Rose Tico from The Last Jedi. Rose Tico absolutely steals the show.
Bro, did I miss that? Did I miss that? Did they actually say Rose Tico was the shining... Oh my god. What?
Tico from The Last Jedi. Rose Tico absolutely steals the show, which I mysteriously can't find on the internet anymore.
Conveniently.
Yeah, when IGN realizes they're on the wrong side of the bandwagon, oh, that's just one staffer's opinion. So I say do that with reviews too. Why not? Well, according to IGN, they don't do multiple reviews for the same game because that'd be too hard.
Oh yeah, too many reviews is too hard.
Miss Brandt?
Yes.
Get me a violin.
I'm being a bit facetious. It's a little more complex than that, but it is an intentional decision on their part. So, if the IG...
Hold on, I want to read that. In short, attempting to review things multiple times would create an unsustainable amount of work, dramatically increase the cost, and cause of plenty of confusion for very little gain, especially in a world where aggregate scores already exist. Ah, okay. Well, now I know where you stand, IGN.
That, but it is an intentional decision on their part. So, if the IGN gods want to handpick one staffer to share one opinion on one game, then I think it is fair for us consumers in return to look at that one opinion as the IGN opinion. So spare me.
Right. So what he's saying is that they can't review multiple games because this one person is representing what IGN believes. So when we say that IGN, they're like, well, it's just one person's opinion. Well, which one is it? Is it the IGN opinion? Or is it the IGN opinion of the person that you hired for that one person's opinion? Right? Which one is it?
Anywho, Destin's next big criticism in the preview for Unalive Squad, spread across multiple paragraphs, can be summarized in just 4 words. It's not Batman Arkham.
That's the big thing. This is why Suicide Squad failed. Right? This is why it's lackluster sales. It's not Batman.
Now look, I am the last person to defend live service games. I mean, look at my channel, but I'm gotta give a little bit of credit where it's due. Rocksteady never marketed this as another Batman Arkham game.
True.
Same universe, sure, but anyone who's been paying attention for the last couple of years of its promotion should have known full well that it was not...
Right. Looking at this in 2021 and going, wait a minute, this is not Batman. Like, this has never been marketed as a Batman Arkham game.
Meant to be compared in terms of its gameplay mechanics. It's not like they were making a brand new pirate game that in their marketing they stated repeatedly that it was inspired by and meant to be an improvement upon Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag's pirate mechanics.
While working on Black Flag?
We're not making Black Flag 2.0, we're making our own game, but we really went to school on what we've done in the past.
And how the team's experience and expertise from working on a...
It's so close. Skull and Bones is so close to Black Flag. The only thing in common is the water. That's it.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag inspired them to embark on this ambitious new journey.
Which then turned out to be an absolute shell of the same type of gameplay they'd already done before. And it's a good thing too, or else IGN would have given it a 7 out of...
When I read this review of why they gave it a 7... Look at the thing at the bottom. But with strong start to live service that's got a year of upcoming content mapped out, it's already quite seaworthy. Amazing.
And it's a good thing too, or else IGN would have given it a 7 out of 10, saying it has a good foundation and is a good start? Now, hey, put your pitchforks down. I, too, would have preferred to get another Batman Arkham game, but Unalive Squad and Batman Arkham are just an apple and an orange, just covered in Arkham universe paint. You know, I would think a game journalist would know to judge a game on its own merit, not the merit of a 9-year-old game that the...
That's our problem, Kingard. That we're assuming that these people have integrity, but they don't, right? Why would they judge a game on its own merits? Right? They're the professionals. They know what they're doing.
Studio never said they were trying to replicate. It's not like they called this game Batman Arkham 4 and they just pulled a fast one on us by making Batman a villain and having us hop around as a minigun wielding, possibly gay?
Hey, he brought it up. Yeah.
And having us hop around as a minigun wielding, possibly gay? Shark mutant with no indication of this in the marketing. But what do I know? I'm not a professional game journalist.
That's right. We're not professional game journalists.
I'm just some snot-nosed YouTuber. This, of course, was followed up by the heavily memed on take that the Flash fight sucked because the Flash was too fast.
That will never get old. I'm sorry. That will never get old. Right? The Flash is too fast. One of the dumbest things, right? Superman's too strong. Flash is too fast. Water is too wet.
You get a handful of shots on him before he teleports to the next location, so you're just trying to chase him down or catch him standing in one spot long enough to get hits in before he does it all again.
Yes, because the Scarlet Speedster has always been known for his uncanny ability to move very, very slowly.
Yeah, real slow.
Now I hear the argument that it doesn't make for good gameplay when the boss is moving too quick.
Where do they say that? In the vid? Yeah. They say the Flash is too fast.
Quickly, and this is a game, after all, so gameplay is important, but I'm debating if we played the same boss fight or not.
I do wish there was a bit of a he's down, get him moment.
This is the best part. This is the best part. I wish there was a he's down, get him moment. There is. There literally is.
But unfortunately, it seems like that trope wasn't used here.
But like, that's exactly what you do in this boss.
That's exactly right.
It seems like that trope wasn't used here.
But like, that's exactly what you do in this boss fight. He's down! Get him, boys! Would you expect Destin, the bullet sponge Flash, to just T-pose around the map for you? Then Destin criticizes the too familiar mission types and mentioned that there'd be ways to change up character builds, and he seemed into that stuff. I think what's the most telling for me about the negativity in this article, that negativity that is heavily reflected in the title, is that Destin admits that he's played a lot of grindy looter types of games.
And when you pair this disconnect with game mechanics straight out of the likes of Destiny, Anthem, or Marvel's Avengers, I'm left worried about the final product coming together in a way that works. And believe me, I really want to be wrong about it. Not only is Rocksteady one of my favorite developers, but this genre is one I've spent far too much time in across Destiny, Anthem, and yes, even Marvel's Avengers.
Let's keep this in our back pocket for later, but for now, just...
Okay, I will. We're taking that, chat. We're taking that. We're putting that in our back pocket, okay?
Remember, IGN's frustrations with this game didn't start with this game.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that was my problem when they first started their coverage of this. I was like, but you guys are taking criticism to this game that are not with this game.
They started with games from other studios from up to 7 years earlier, and received review scores of 7.8, 6.5, and 6, respectively. So with this negative preview gaining traction online, and with how many times they reposted it, I mean, how could it not? By my count, I think they posted it at least 4 times. At a time that was...
It was more than that. It was more than 4 times.
Most critical for Rocksteady to drum up as much hype as possible, only weeks from launch, IGN just came out swinging with an uppercut to the jaw.
Come on, who's with me, huh?
Nobody.
Now it was Rocksteady's turn to move, and they moved quickly.
January 11th, 22 days until full release.
2 days later, on January 11th, Rocksteady partially released players who had participated in alpha test back in November from an NDA.
Was it 11? 11 times, Salty?
The NDA had so far prohibited those players from talking about their time with the game. They still couldn't show imagery or video, but now they could at least talk about it. Let's just ignore that little leaky leak there. So why did Rocksteady...
Hold on, what did that say?
Talk about it. Let's just...
Suicide Squad game spoils run wild online. Warner Brothers tries to squash leaks.
Just ignore that little leaky leak there. So why did Rocksteady lift the NDA when they did? Well, if you're interested in a guess from little old me, I would say they were doing damage control. I think they were hoping that there'd be some positive impressions that would wash out the stink.
I could see that. I could see that.
Of IGN's negative one. IGN's wasn't the only preview out there, but it seemed to be the one that generated the most buzz.
All right, so Eurogamer said, but as an online shooter, live service elements and perhaps trend chasing more than sticking with some of the studio's best. And then Game Informer said, emerging from hands-on session, I feel much more confident in Rocksteady's long-awaited follow-up, critically acclaimed Arkham series, but I still have several questions.
And did the NDA lift work? Well, sort of.
Yeah,
it was pretty divided in what people praised and criticized, but I would say it definitely helped having more opinions out there that...
Yeah, because when more people actually played the game, because here's the context, though, right? Leading up to it, we had a beta playtest where hundreds of thousands of players played the game for literally 30 plus hours for that weekend. Okay. And then they made the content creators play like 4 hours. And then they finally released it to everybody that actually played more hours. And people were like, yeah, it's a fun game. Where Destin played for 2 hours, 3 hours, and Flash was too fast for him.
Argued with IGN. There were people that said their take on the Flash fight was stupid. They disagreed that the character banter was annoying. They said that no, it's actually pretty funny. So at the very least, Rocksteady was successful in starting a flame war. Alright, Rocksteady, why don't we just brush off our shoulders, get ready for launch, and... Oh dear God.
January 27th, 2024. 3 days early access.
January 27th, 3 days before the early access period was set to launch. A tweet from IGN's executive review editor, Tom Marks, was posted that explained exactly what Rocksteady had done. We won't have our review of Squad the Justice League.
He can't say the name of the game because it gets nicked.
League at launch, as review codes have not been sent ahead of time. In fact, Warner Brothers Games has declined to send IGN codes at all. Do my eyes deceive me?
Well, I don't know if he's going to go into this. Probably will because he's good at what he does. But they didn't give out any codes to anybody, right? But IGN had to make it about them. We didn't get a code. So everybody that's a fan of us, and they have 17 million followers, by the way, okay? They didn't get a code, so everyone's like, well, we didn't get a code, so this is the reason, right? They didn't get a code for Helldivers either. And nothing was said. Just remember that.
Did IGN just get slapped with a take that from Warner Brothers Games? Now let's be real, there's a few angles to this, all of which I think hold some weight. Angle number one. I mean, yeah, why on God's green earth would they want to send IGN review codes after the hit piece they put out? I mean, if you go to a sorority party and poop in the dryer, don't be shocked when they don't invite you to the next one, you clown. That is a true story, by the way. I didn't do it.
Gangard. You did it, didn't you? You took a shit in someone's dryer.
Angle number two.
Oh man, hold on. I want to watch that again.
If you go to a sorority party and poop in the dryer, don't be shocked when they don't invite you to the next one, you clown. That is a true story, by the way. I didn't do it. Angle number two.
He probably didn't do it.
IGN, let's just get this out of the way now. Nobody owes you review codes.
That's right. No, nobody owes you a code. Nobody owes you a code. I don't care how big, how small. Okay, my opinion. Sarge and I have talked about this on GXG. Everyone should buy their code. Everyone should buy the copy of the game. Okay, everyone.
It shouldn't be an altered world event when you have to buy a game at the same price as us at
Kylo says, "Wait, that's not a normal thing."
the same time as us. Plus, in my opinion, it's pretty much impossible.
Oh, did he say? Hold on.
Review codes. It shouldn't be an altered world event when you have to buy a game at the same price as us at the same time as us. Plus, in my opinion, it's pretty much impossible to avoid any sort of bias whatsoever when you invite people to preview events or give them early access for free in the name of reviewing your game.
We're gonna make a lot of money together.
Just remember who you're working for.
Here's a hot take for you. How about no game review codes to anyone at all? Put everyone on the same playing field and have them all buy it at the same time. And actually buy it.
What is that now? Hold on.
On the same playing field and have them all buy it at the same time. And actually buy.
Most reviews are conducted using publisher, studio, developer provided review copies and screenings.
Buy it. I get why they do it. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. I mean, I'm not stupid. I know me yammering's not going to change anything, but just saying. Maybe then we wouldn't get total meltdowns when game reviewers don't get copies of the game for free, like we did from this game's previewer, Destin Legary.
I'm sure this game is going to be great. I gave Curse of Osiris a 5.5, and Bungie still sent us codes.
That sounds so... It sounds so entitled, right?
Not sending IGN review codes after my negative preview is ridiculous.
No, what's ridiculous is you bitching on social media that because one company didn't do it, that this company is, right? But you have no problem with this, right?
And I'm not even on the review. Not a good look. He's right, no one is. But to send out no codes at all, or...
Yeah, that's a big deal though, right? They didn't send a code not just to IGN, they didn't send codes to anybody.
Be selective with who gets them should certainly send a message to customers.
See that? He's right, no one is about to send no codes at all, but to selective who gets them should certainly send a message to customers. What are we talking about here? Right? You're taking it a little personal, aren't you, Destin?
I don't disagree with some of the points Destin's making here, but man, does this come across
so entitled.
Like a rich kid who got the wrong colored Ferrari for Christmas.
And it's exactly what it sounds like, right? Regardless if he's right or wrong, it comes across as being really, really spoiled on, well, I didn't get one. This looks really bad, and all the customers should take a look at this.
Finally, angle 3.
Rocksteady, this backfired on you hard. After all, why...
Entitled's a better word.
Why would a studio who is confident in their product not want reviewers to put the reviews out before the game launches? It really comes off as though you don't want people to read reviews before they buy it. And when we see that,
That is correct as well. Okay? Now, other games that are live service didn't give out codes either in the past, but they don't bring that up either, right? Because of the server type of thing. But yeah, if you don't see reviews before the game comes out, it does look shady.
Usually that means the game's in trouble. Doom 2016 and Prey are exceptions to this, but I bet most people see that as a red flag more than they see it as you sticking it to IGN.
Yeah.
But I really don't see why IGN had such a problem with it. Purely for comparison's sake. Helldivers 2 didn't give out early review codes either, and I didn't see their
executive review editor
raging about that.
That's right, because it's hypocrisy.
No, I'm sure the
executive review editor
being mad about not receiving game codes won't have any impact on a game's review at all. And no, I'm not comparing the quality of Unalive Squad to Helldivers 2. Shut up. I'm just talking about IGN's selective outrage.
That's exactly right. The selective of how one doesn't work for the other, right? A live service game that has a roadmap already out for Suicide Squad is bad, but Skull and Bones, it's pretty good because they already have a roadmap ahead of it. And it's rough now, but that roadmap's going to be good. Suicide Squad has a roadmap and they're like, nah, right? Helldivers didn't give us a code, but Suicide Squad didn't give us a code. Shit on this, not shit on that.
Rage about not getting early access codes. But as it turns out, Rocksteady didn't just not give out early access codes to IGN, they didn't give them out to anybody.
That's right.
Well, Rocksteady, the public perception is that you've officially declared war on IGN, and people are taking sides. You better not slip up or IGN's gonna blast you. Again.
January 29th, 2024, early access launch.
On January 29th, Rocksteady's early access period had to be halted due to bug fixing. Apparently a huge bug that made people start the game as though they'd already completely beaten the campaign and were just hanging out in the endgame. And to be fair, IGN's not the only institution that reported on this, plenty of others did too. And as much as it stings my loins, I've got to play devil's advocate for IGN just a little bit here. They've reported on similar instances for other games too, even...
And that's not the problem. I didn't report on any of this of them having problems with the game because the game is actually broke, right? The game actually had problems and they're allowed to report that.
Looters that they reviewed more favorably, like Diablo 4, for example. A 9 out of 10, really?
I mean... It definitely wasn't a 9, but, you know.
Viewed more favorably, like Diablo 4, for example. A 9 out of 10, really? All right.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but all right.
It's a good thing you don't have to grind for loot in Diablo 4. IGN would have torn it a new one. Am I right? But surely you didn't think old Kingard would let a botched early access slide, did you? Look, I've beaten the proverbial early access horse into a coma by this point, but I will say it again for the people in the back. $30 for 3 days of early access is an impatience tax.
That's a good word for it. That's a good word for it. $30 for 3 days early access and impatient tax. Now, as a content creator, obviously, I got to pay for it if it's something, a game that's current and you want to get clicks and views and whatnot, right? That's what they go for. Now, obviously, if it's a game I'm not interested in, pick it up on day one, pick it up a week later, whatever.
Congratulations to those who couldn't wait 3 days.
We did it. We did it.
You played yourself. Granted, though, Unalive Squad servers were back up 6 hours later, and then the next day, bam, taken down again for more maintenance. In case you needed another reason to despise always online requirements for games that really shouldn't need it, we can go ahead and add losing playtime in a 72-hour...
Yeah, this would piss me off. There's people that paid the extra $30 and couldn't play at all. What's his name? Was it Doom Killer? He paid the money up front and could not play for almost 2 weeks. Okay? I would lose my shit. Actually, I would have got my money back, and he couldn't get his money back, so it even frustrated him even more.
Hour period you paid extra for to your collection. To apologize, Rocksteady gifted $20 worth of in-game currency to the deluxe edition owners. That's right, you paid with real money, but we're not gonna give you real money as a reimbursement.
No, we're gonna give you fake money back in the thing so you keep coming back. Epic did that with Fortnite with V-Bucks.
Reimbursement? We're a business here. How about some in-game cosmetics? Yeah, right. Well, great going, Rocksteady. You gave IGN the opportunity for not just one haymaker, but two. And they're just getting started.
January 30th.
The following day, on January 30th, IGN posted this article with the headline, Unalive Squad is already down to just 44 pounds.
This was such a bullshit article.
Before release day in the UK. Now, if you take the time to read this article, you will see that for some bizarre reason, what they're actually reporting on is an eBay listing for someone wholesaling the game, basically. Now, like, I'd get it if they had the headline like, grab a resold copy of this game on eBay at this link. But that's not what they did.
No.
You cannot convince me that one single person saw this post on Instagram and said, oh, they're not implying the game is bad, they're just informing us of a sweet deal on eBay.
Right. Right. It's exactly right. Suicide Squad is already marked down 37% in the UK before launch day. That was 100% to drive that this game is bad.
eBay. It gives me the impression, wow, this game is so bad, it is already reduced in price before launch.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
A lot of commenters like to throw the word clickbait around, but this...
That is 100% clickbait.
Right here, this is what clickbait looks like. And guys, we're still not even to the release of the game yet. IGN's worst hit pieces are still yet to come.
January 31st, February 1st, early access period.
We're now between January 31st through February 1st, during Unalive Squad's early access period. On January 31st, IGN posted a podcast episode to YouTube. In it, they discussed the game during a segment, and the link's in the description if you want to hear everything they said in full context, but if you'll allow me to summarize this, if I'm not mistaken, only one person in this podcast had actually played it, which was Destin, who, if you recall, was the one who wrote the "We Didn't Like It" preview at the start of this timeline. Starting at about the 27-minute mark of the video, Destin actually starts giving what sounds like a pretty balanced take on his time with the game so far.
Well, I'm going to start positive. There are things to like about this game.
What? That's amazing.
A lot of people online seem to be acting like it's just total trash. I think there are redeemable qualities to the game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like
I
totally awful.
Well, when he's not being cut off by Ryan McCaffrey every 5 seconds anyway.
I do not enjoy the gameplay.
Yeah. Let me interject for a quick second, Destin, just to...
You watch a cutscene for 20 minutes, you play and kill like 3
enemies. Wait, did you just say 20 minutes?
I highlighted that in the preview. And
that reminds me of Halo 5's campaign.
It's actually pretty funny to me that twice...
He interrupted him so much.
Twice that I saw in this podcast, someone brings up IGN not getting review codes to the game, and both times the conversation gets shut down immediately.
But the whole code thing, it's sort of like whatever. Like, IGN just buys my code anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So if that's the take, though, Destin, why even tweet about it? Right? Why even do that then?
I mean, but it's like a bad move on their part. It just kind of,
Ryan didn't
very
want to get into it. But
it's
Rose, are you listening to though what they're doing? Like, you're okay saying a game is bad and whatnot. But this first of all, this video is not about their review. This video is about the hit piece stuff leading up to the actual game coming out. You understand the difference, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I mean, nobody cares, right? Nobody in our audience cares. Like,
I'll just briefly mention the code thing. That's PR. That has nothing. That, for me, that's like a Rocksteady thing. That was a decision, probably not. I don't know who made that decision, but like, it's whatever, right? Sorry, Ryan. I want to talk about it a little bit, but
well, like I said, I don't think our audience really cares, nor should they, quite frankly.
No.
Like, it's not.
It shouldn't factor into the game at all, like when you think of it.
And that's it.
At least it seems like some of the staff at IGN seem to recognize how petty and childish it looks when they complain about this. And then they made me buy the game like everybody else.
Sort of like whatever. Like it's whatever. IGN just buys my code anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It shouldn't factor into the game at all, like when you think of it.
And that's it.
I bring this...
Look at that again, right? Listen to the audio with the clips that was there.
Sort of like whatever. Like it's whatever. IGN just buys my code anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It shouldn't factor into the game at all, like when you think of it.
And that's it.
What was the point of going to Twitter and complaining about that? If it wasn't a big deal that IGN bought your code and it looks bad or whatever, then why did you tweet about it? Why did you make multiple videos off of it? Why did you do all of that stuff? It wasn't a big deal, and IGN picks up the tab.
Bring this podcast episode up because I have to ask, why is the balanced take being given here not present in the packaging of any of IGN's other content so far?
Yeah, you had previewed it, and the slice you were shown, you didn't super care for. Not a blanket, like, hated the whole thing. You talked about some things you liked, some things you didn't. We live in this polarized online world where everything's either amazing or the worst thing ever. And it's like, the reality is, it wasn't just going to be a garbage fire. Like,
I'm all for Rocksteady trying a new thing. Like, they didn't need...
Oh, are you? Oh, please cut to the dialogue that he said during his review. Please.
To make Batman for the rest of their life or anything like that. Rocksteady had a winning formula.
God, I love you, Kingard. God, I love you.
Formula with the Batman the rest of their life or anything like that. Rocksteady had a winning formula with the Batman games, Arkham series, Batman, Arkham Knight.
Why do I have to go 27 minutes into a podcast episode on one of IGN's side channels to get an opinion on the game that isn't headline hate bait for Twitter? Yeah, so I kind of liked how the game... No cynicism here. This is not the review. Seriously, if you go watch that podcast, like, that's how this comes across.
It does.
I played a bunch of it. You are not reviewing it for IGN.
I'm at the final boss.
Because I don't want people to take your
No, Simon
No, you
Cardy's
just said
reviewing
as-
it. It's not a review. I think in the review, until I read it, after I read his review.
By the way, did you know IGN is posting a review? I don't know how which writers get selected to review which games. Like if it's whoever can run the longest with an Oreo between their cheeks, or whoever wins the intern mud wrestling contest gets it. I have no idea. It's just weird to me the way that they seem to order the importance of different opinions at IGN based on who's assigned to write the article and who's not. And my friends, speaking of articles, January 31st was a big day. This was the day that IGN finally released the IGN review.
January 31st. The IGN review I thought was fine. I thought Simon's review was fine. It was just weird, and I personally lost interest in IGN in the moment that he said in that review that Avengers had more endgame than Suicide Squad, which is just false across the board. They didn't have endgame in Marvel's Avengers for 1 year.
Written by senior editorial producer Simon Cardy, IGN's review scored Slip and Slide Squad a 5 out of 10. For full transparency, I actually agree with almost everything that Simon...
I also agree.
Says in his review.
Nice. That's nice. He did it. Hold on.
I agree with almost everything that Simon says.
Simon says.
In his review.
It's also a shame as there's a good story being told in well-made cutscenes with snappy writing and performances carrying a lot of the weight. But beyond that, Squad the Justice League never consistently offers enough fun to go toe-to-toe with the successful games in this genre.
But one thing he did say that I found outrageous. Crystal Dynamics' unsatisfactory efforts, he's referring to Marvel's Avengers here, offered better variety and more endgame goals to aim for. Now,
that is just straight up lying.
I'm no expert on Marvel's Avengers.
You want to explain yourself? What are you doing?
But that is...
yeah, 23 days. A lot. It's a lot.
Is markedly false. And yes, I know it's not the highest bar to surpass in the first place. And I know at the end of the day, most of you don't care whose endgame sucks worse. But I've got to put in my 2 cents here. Unalive Squad is miles ahead of where
100%.
Where Marvel's Avengers was when it launched. That game just had you running around the map, basically opening loot boxes and then restarting the mission.
That's right. That's right. That was the end game in Marvel's Avengers, right? And if I'm reading your article, and if he said anything along the lines of, you know, this is the better end game at launch than other games in the past, but it's still lackluster, I would have been okay with it. But coming out, for me personally, it decredited his whole review when he said that this game, Marvel's Avengers, has more end game than Suicide Squad, because at that moment, I look at it and say, you have no idea what you're talking about, and it decredits everything that you just said ahead of time, because how am I supposed to trust you? But apparently, he was betting on, okay? He was betting on people not knowing that there was an end game or not an end game when it launched. And that's why he uses his example, because Marvel's Avengers is very polarizing when it comes across of being a bad game.
Not having fun? That's okay. We'll release a new $14 skin next week you can buy. But going back to the earlier point that it's not always the content in the article, sometimes it's the packaging that gets the most impressions. There's actually a lot of positivity written into this review.
Yeah.
I mean, enough to where a 5 out of 10 kind of feels low for all the positive stuff he says about the game.
I agree.
Can you guess what IGN did with this review? If your answer was pick out the most negative quotes in it and post it repeatedly, you're a winner. And by post repeatedly, I mean, like, really post repeatedly. This review was originally posted January 31st, and I'm recording this on February 14th, and I'm looking at yet another reposting of it on IGN's Twitter. I get that engagement is, like, how you make your money on Twitter, but my god. You already knocked them out cold, stop curb stomping them. Alright. They posted the review, everything.
Reese says, I don't know if they put a ton of stuff out on Starfield. I did someone... do a count, or is it more articles on Suicide Squad than in my Discord, me and Krebsy were going back and forth, and I showed 45 articles written for Suicide Squad in 30 days. There wasn't that many articles written about Starfield on their Twitter account in 5 months, Reese, for Starfield.
Everything was building up to this. I'm sure we can all finally move on, right?
Absolutely f***ing not.
No. IGN had one more Be More Petty card in their deck, and they were about to play it.
February 1st.
Keep in mind that during this time, the game still has not released in its standard edition, meaning the majority of people who still planned on playing it did not have possession of the game yet. If you're not already familiar with the situation, I'm willing to bet you will not guess what IGN posted. On the day before the game's official release, IGN posted the final cutscene of the game's story to YouTube to spoil it for everyone.
Think about that. Think about that. IGN, the people that are supposed to have integrity, writing an article to help the fans, right? The day the game came out, they put the cutscene out, okay, for the end game, like for the game, before everyone else bought the game. A little weird, isn't it?
I mean, they posted a spoiler video the day before this as well, but I'm just
Yeah, there you go.
Now bringing it up because it fits into this point. Okay, seriously, did the CEO of Rocksteady, like, sleep with the CEO of IGN's wife or something? Like, what is going on here? I get that streamers kind of do the same thing when they play through an entire game on stream, but this wasn't a 6-hour stream to scrub through. It was a video posted with the sole intention of spoiling the game.
That's right. It was posted there to get engagement, to ruin the game for everybody else that didn't even get the game yet, before it launched.
And this wasn't from some schmo on the internet. This was a journalistic establishment. I don't care if a game is good, bad, if it stole your social security card and your dog. You don't do that. Or at least you don't call yourself game.
Right. We are social influence personalities in addition of being journalists. You're no longer journalists. You're griefers.
Journalists and do that before the official release of a game. The argument about the game's quality is irrelevant with this point. This is just straight petty.
Yep.
Even executive editor Ryan McCaffrey, or as I call him, professional apologist for Bethesda with Fallout 76, went back and deleted his retweet of the video's link. He still defended IGN's posting of it, but at least acknowledged, kind of, that enough people thought it was a scummy thing for an establishment supposedly with journalistic integrity to do. IGN must not have felt bad.
So here you go. I went ahead and watched the full spoiler clip on Post on Suicide Squad's ending, and while I do still want to try the game so I can properly form my own opinion on it, I probably won't finish it. Watch if you dare. Deleting last post as nobody liked it, which was fascinating because the actual video on YouTube had widely different comments, but that's cool. Can't win them all. But the fact that you did it as a journalist outlet is the sad part.
Establishment supposedly with journalistic integrity to do. IGN must not have felt bad though, because they kept reposting it. If you think that's all IGN had in them, IGN came here to rage bait and chew bubblegum, and they were all out of bubblegum.
Nice quote. February 2nd.
February 2nd, launch day is here. And to celebrate, IGN posts the article with the headline, Kevin Conroy's Batman is completely wasted in Slip and Slide Squad. For those who may not know, Kevin Conroy voiced Batman in a ton of Batman media, including the Arkham games and this game, and he tragically and recently passed away before this game launched. IGN's Twitter post added the caption, "A lot of fans are hopping mad about Batman's role in Slip and Slide Squad, and rightly so. Here's why Kevin Conroy's Batman is wasted in the game."
Another shitty article and a really poor, from a journalist, their words, not mine, from journalists that are supposed to have integrity and stuff in this industry.
In this article, Jesse Sheeden basically uses the passing of Kevin Conroy as yet another cudgel for IGN to beat this game over the head with. Wow, Rocksteady, this was one of Kevin's last performances before he passed away. Don't you feel bad for what you did with the character? Do you feel stupid? Are you an idiot? While yes, it's true that a lot of people, myself included, were disappointed with how Batman was used in the game. But what do you have to smoke to think that it is appropriate to frame the advertising of an article about how mad you are about a video game around a voice actor's very real and very recent passing? I mean, go read the...
It's because he's a scumbag. Plain and simple.
The article, it really only mentions Kevin Conroy at the beginning and the end, and mostly just writes about how the Arkham Batman send-off wasn't very good. But that's not how the packaging is framed. To use IGN's own words against them, people were hopping mad that they would try to rage bait their article around the passing of Kevin Conroy, and rightly so. One person who helped work on the game tweeted back, "Kevin was our teammate, and many of us worked with him directly for years. I would expect games journalists to know that, and understand how callous it is to use his memory to stoke hatred. We do not need strangers to tell us what he would have thought. He told us himself."
Exactly. All these people on the internet saying that, oh, this is a disgrace to Kevin Conroy. He literally took the job. He did the voice acting. He did all this stuff. And then these ass clowns made an article using his death to describe how bad the game was because of his role.
Now, this particular person turns out to work for Sweet Baby, which, say what we will about their contributions to gaming recently, kind of the amount of
Hey, we just talked about them just earlier today.
combat we've seen so far, I think this game...
It took me 3 days to notice that in the game.
Game does fun. We welcome all heroes. Oh, thank God. I was concerned that they didn't welcome all heroes.
That's right.
But regardless of that affiliation, I've got to agree with this tweet. This whole interaction doesn't look like a defense of a subpar game to me. It looks like someone who has experience with Kevin, or at least has colleagues who have experience with him, being justifiably ticked that this article uses the tragedy of his loss to try and guilt Rocksteady into feeling bad about their video game. Even if what she was saying is totally made up and she had no clue what Kevin was thinking, it's still repulsive by IGN. Like, I would rather keep seeing their reviewers go work for studios that they gave 10 out of 10s to, Last of Us Part 2, than see stuff like this.
February 9th.
February 9th, a full week after the game had been out, IGN had one last kick to Rocksteady's lifeless corpse. An article called, "I Hope This Game K-Words the Looter Shooter Trend," written by the game's reviewer, Simon Carty. Or, excuse me, the IGN God's chosen representative to review the game. Like the review though, Simon isn't overly negative here either. He notes that while it's good for studios to try new things, too many of them are ignoring their strengths and giving in to the looter shooter trend. And that's a sentiment I completely agree with, by the way.
And I also agree with that, right?
Mention a few other games like Redfall and Marvel's Avengers, but Slip and Slide Squad is very much at the center of this story, and in the headline, and in the picture. This article in a vacuum doesn't really seem odd, but put it in the context of everything IGN's posted so far, and I'm just like, you've already crapped on this game more than any other game in my recent memory. Move on. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day. Here's a performance review of the game. As to why this couldn't just be included in the regular review, I really don't know. More articles means more engagement, I guess? I don't know. Where was this energy with other premium priced looters? I mean, Diablo 4, a game that sold for $70 to $100, includes $20 microtransactions, a battle pass, and an endless grind for loot, scores a 9 out of 10.
Yep. The hypocrisy is crazy. The hypocrisy from IGN is crazy.
Redfall rightly got a 4 out of 10, but even it didn't get this much crap from IGN.
Think about that, right? Redfall was a broke, buggy, unfinished game at launch. They wrote an article and they moved on.
Even though it definitely deserved it. I haven't been on this platform long, but I've been around enough to know that this game is not in the same league as games like Redfall or Fallout 76. It just seems like for some weird reason, IGN has a throbbing hate boner for it nonetheless. If my little monkey brain can navigate a Twitter search engine well, I'm counting about 45 different tweets from IGN about Starfield, another controversial game.
There you go. He's bringing it up right now.
when it first came out. These 45 tweets spread across 5 months.
45 tweets in 5 months for Starfield. 45 tweets in 5 months.
So that's an average of 9 tweets a month. Can you guess how long it took IGN to tweet that many times about this game around its launch? 1 month. In 1 month.
So I found 45 tweets in 30 days. He found 43 tweets in a month and a half.
There were 43 tweets by my count. Elon must just be shoveling them with Twitter engagement money, I guess. If IGN's biggest problems with this game were that the servers had to get taken down for maintenance during early access, it's got a repetitive gameplay loop, and it's a live service, then I don't ever want to see a glowing review from IGN ever again about any other game that fits that criteria. Not even you, Helldivers 2.
Yeah, imagine. Right? And I live. Right? I'm enjoying Helldivers. I also enjoy Suicide Squad, right? But the same sentiment that they have towards Suicide Squad, generic terms of generic, open world, do the same things over and over. Skull and Bones got a 7. Helldivers got a 9. Got the same exact type of stuff in there. Same things, small gameplay, no story, by the way, in Helldivers. No single-player campaign. No really cutscenes, okay? Nothing. It's just a game what it is. Now, I know someone will be like, well, it's only a $40 game. Still a live service game. Still doing the exact same thing repetitively over and over and over again. But what's good for one is not good for the other, right?
2. Also, while I have the opportunity, go check out their reviews for the original Spider-Man movie trilogy. They've aged like hot milk and are very fun to point and laugh at. So yeah, this video is not a defense of the game's quality as a whole. It's not meant to be a review, even though I did mention some of my own thoughts on it. But watching this grudge match between IGN and Rocksteady over this game has been a sight to behold. A sight
weird.
That has made me, just a little guy on the internet, wonder to myself, what did Rocksteady do to you, IGN? For more on live service criticism and why I think DLC sucks now, click on this video right here. Let me know your favorite IGN takes in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching. Kingard out.
That's a good video. Good video. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Go give Kingard his descriptions down below. You can go click on his link or his name in the description below and give it a like. That's a good video. Yeah, it's not a review on the game. It's about what IGN had a hate boner for Suicide Squad. Okay, there's also content creators that did the exact same thing. There was content creators that made video after video after video after video after video, just shitting on it, saying the exact same thing they did in video 1, as they did in video 3, as they did in video 6, as they did in video 12. Okay? Businesses are going to do what they want. Now, see, I'm covering Suicide Squad because I actually like Suicide Squad. Now, I'm not delusional. Okay? I'm not delusional. I understand that Suicide Squad has a major problem, right? Hence why our first story this morning was talking about Suicide Squad and how they have to fix their game if they would like something to happen with it, okay? But I am also not a journalist, okay? I'm a Joe Schmo with a YouTube channel that basically here for conversation and entertainment purposes. IGN is a business. IGN is a business that they call themselves journalists. They're supposed to have integrity of journalists. But yet, what they did for Suicide Squad is everything but journalist integrity, okay? They did everything a YouTuber does. They did everything that a influencer does. Instead of being the bigger person as a professional, as an organization, okay? But you know what? Money's money, and they were getting engagement. Right? They were getting engagement, and that's what they were doing. It's worse than Kotaku. I think there's more so no people love DC, and they wanted to milk as much money as attention as the gaming lifetime, even if Rocksteady's expense. I just think it comes across when you bitch about one live service game and the flaws with it. Again, Simon's review of the game I thought was fine. Up until the point he said that Marvel's Avengers had more endgame than Suicide Squad, because at that moment I was like, well, I can't trust what you're going to say anymore, because you're using something that didn't have an end game to try to make your point that this game is bad because this game actually had more. Because everyone knows that Marvel's Avengers was a bad game at launch, and he was using that as a anchor point to be like, well, this game was bad, but this game's even worse because that game had more end game than this. And that, I was like, I lost respect. I lost respect. He could have easily came back and said, I made a mistake on the end game for Marvel's Avengers. But apparently they don't have to. And as much as I agreed with his review, everything that he said in his review is why I like Suicide Squad. I thought the story was great. It's just the ending of Suicide Squad, like what you're doing, because it is baked as a live service game. And we really can't tell what this game is going to be as a whole until you get the full thing in, right? Season 1, 2, 3, and 4. So like this time next year, once all 4 seasons are out and we played through it all, we can actually look at it a year later and go, it was actually pretty good or not as a whole. I thought the campaign was fine. I don't think it was fantastic. I don't think it was shit. I think it was mid. I think it should have been like a 6.5 to 7. He gave it a 5, which is fine, and I have no problem with that. It was just everything that IGN as a whole, as an organization, did. I was just like, what is happening here? 45 tweets. 45 tweets in 30 days. Downer says, I haven't taken IGN reviews seriously for years also. Sometimes about needing it out day one, that makes less authentic to me. Hope it does good for just in spite. Unfortunately, I think the game is going to struggle big time. I think they made their money. They made their initial money. They will make more money. Battle Pass is not even in the game yet. Right? The Battle Pass is not even in the game yet. Usually go to Angry Joe for an honest take. I haven't watched his review yet. I know he made one. I want to go watch it. But I already have a feeling that he's going to shit on it because that's the thing to do. His content's hit or miss now for me. I really like Angry Joe. I've been watching him for many, 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 many years. Right? Sometimes he gets on and you can tell that he's doing his own opinion. But then when he gets late to the party to actually do a review, you could tell that he watched other people's reviews and then puts what they say in his review. It doesn't come across as original idea. Do you know what I mean? And I get his business is a completely different business. It's a different beast now. I still like watching his content. I just look at it sometimes different than others. Other times it's just entertaining where he's like yelling and screaming, right? And other times I look at it and go, you made really good points. I never take anybody, and this goes for anybody out there. You should never take anyone for their word 100%, not even me, right? Like, you're going to ask me my opinion on something, I'm going to give you my opinion, okay? But don't take it as gospel, right? Go watch other people, and then based on everyone's takes that you watch and listen to, then go, I'm going to make a purchase, or I'm not going to make a purchase, right? But a lot of people like to just, crap on everybody, right? It's like being in a schoolyard. Someone makes fun of someone. Oh, you got a stupid hat. Your shirt's stupid. Everyone's like, yeah, your glasses are dumb. Like, and they all jump in on it because it's that social thing. They want to be cool, right? They want to have something in common with something, right? And that's what it comes across as. You're shitting on something because everyone's shitting on it, and because they get the engagement of that. And that's not what my content's about. My content's never been about, even when we don't like certain things. I stopped with Destiny years ago because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I was just angrily making content on it because I love that game. I love Destiny, okay? And I was hurt because it sucked. And I was taking my anger out on it. And now I just play games that I enjoy. But then people like to watch the videos, and I'm making Suicide Squad videos because I'm making the patch notes videos for the people that are still keeping in touch with the game. I'm making the videos of Suicide Squad because I'm actually like Suicide Squad, okay? And I can sit here and give criticism to a game I like or don't like, right? Like the good and bad about the game, and still enjoy it, right? But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that Suicide Squad is the only game I'm playing, right? I've played a lot of different games. We're going to be playing more games, right? I'm going to be playing Expedition, right? My son wants to get it, so I was like, all right, I'll make that purchase, Okay, so I'm getting the standard edition of Expedition tomorrow. Right, we'll probably play it tomorrow evening, probably Tuesday night or Wednesday night on stream. I'm picking up Star Wars Battlefront, the collector's edition back from 2014, the one that's coming out, because I like Star Wars and Battlefront. Right? I'm not going to sit here and talk about topics I hate. Stupid. Okay? Right? Same people that have a hate boner for certain games, they'll come to my videos and say the exact same thing they said before, and before that, and before that. Right? They're like, oh, keep dreaming. Right? Like, they don't understand, like, I paid for Suicide Squad, played it, and I put it down. Like, am I supposed to play Suicide Squad for the rest of my life? Am I supposed to play Helldivers for the rest of my life? Am I supposed to play whatever game I purchase? What is the cutoff point? Is it 6 months, 8 months? I'm not supposed to play any other game? Like, what is that number that people want in their imagination? I'm going to be getting it for console because my son loves that game. He plays it on the PlayStation 2 when he visits his grandma's. And now that it's coming back on the main console, I'm going to pick it up for Xbox Eclipse. So, I just like having conversation, right? Like, I'm going to play what I want to play. We're going to have talks about whatever I want to talk about because that's who I am, right? I'm not trying to follow a trend. I'm not trying to make content about shit I don't know, okay? You notice, I don't really talk about the layoffs and stuff like that. Like, I don't really go into layoffs and what it means for Sony and what it means for Xbox. We talk about it because it's news, but I don't talk about it because who gives a shit, really? Let's be honest. You want to talk about video games, right? So we have conversations about certain things, but we don't drive that point home. Prosty, I kind of agree, right? You know what I never really watch? I never watch the videos of the people making videos of this is how you beat the game faster. This is where you find everything, right? This is where you find all the stuff. I don't really follow that stuff. Never really do. Because when I watch a video like that, they're cutting my time. Now, each their own. Maybe you don't have time and you want to get through that game as fast as possible so you can get to your next game. Cool. Me, I don't watch the walkthroughs or anything like that. I try to figure stuff out myself, play that stuff, find those things. To me, that's part of the game. It's not cross-play, Dolphin. It's not cross-play. It's cross-generation. So if you buy it on PlayStation, you can play it on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 can play together. Xbox and Xbox S and X can play together. I'm not sure about Windows, though. And then just PC. It's not cross-play. At least, that's what I know. Unless it's changed. Yeah, see, like, someone just commented on my thing about an hour ago, on the last video, of me reading an article and then giving you my thoughts on it, right? It says, man, is this dude really trying to cope with the failure of the game? There's no coping. There's no coping. I literally bought the game, played the game, stopped playing the game, and if they come out with new content, I'll play the game. What's mind-boggling to me is somebody that didn't play the game watching a video about a game they have no interest in and then shitposting in a comment section about the game they didn't play, yet they want to watch about. At least I know what I do with my time. At least I know what I do with my time. Yeah, it comes out March 14th. It comes out March 14th. Frosty says the way people respond to everything gets so bothered about something that was made for relaxation. Yeah, the thing I saw today on Twitter, I mentioned it earlier, about the person that was complaining about he jumped into the water in Final Fantasy. This clip right here, right? This clip right here. This person is upset because when he gets out of the water, his outfit's not wet and it's not dripping. Like losing their mind. Video games sucks because when you get out of the water, it doesn't get wet. I mean, this is the same person. I've told this story before. I've been at the theme park when my son was like 3 years old, and I bought him a bubble machine because who doesn't like bubbles? And he had the bubble machine on, and the bubbles were going and hitting people. And one guy behind us was like, "Fucking bubbles," and I'm like, "Boy, this guy, he hates life." Not only is he at a theme park where people try to enjoy themselves, but he hates bubbles. That's hard to do. Crazy. Imagine how much anger you have to pent up. You're angry at soap. You fucking bubbles. What else we got here? Starship Troopers Extermination. Listen up, troopers. We're bringing out the fight back to the bugs in a big way with the new Vanguard roles. It's time to meet the Ranger. So the actual Starship Troopers game is bringing out new classes inside their game. We have to check that out this week or next week. I think there's going to be 3 new classes, Eclipse, if I'm not mistaken. Did I say anything to the bubble hater? No. I was just laughing because it brings me joy when someone's angry. Like, I'm just pushing my son in the stroller at the time. This is like 6 years ago. Bubbles are going behind us. It's hitting me in the face, right? Because they're going up and hitting me in the face, right? And he's behind me with fucking bubbles, and I'm just like. Like, how much anger do you have? He was probably pissed off because he spent about $5,000 that weekend because they're probably from out of town, and it wasn't the bubbles that were pissing him off. It was just the bubbles were the cap. You know what I mean? Like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. The bubbles were a reminder of how much money he spent there with his family. I bet you that's what it was. Xbox partner, you guys were saying this when I was watching the Kingard video. Xbox partner preview announced for this Wednesday, March 6th, 30-minute broadcast. Over a dozen new trailers, publisher like Capcom, EA, and Nexon, and more. Confirmed titles, Tales of Kenzura, Path of Goodness, and the first Berserker. Yeah, we'll watch it. What time is it at? Oh, no, I can't watch it. Because that's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I won't have time. I won't have time on Wednesday. So we'll talk about it Thursday morning. He was pissed off because his old lady wouldn't get him a bubble maker. No, he was pissed off because of the bubble maker. What else we got here this morning? Anything? I'm going through Twitter real fast to see if there's any kind of news story. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about? Have you guys followed this drama about the Monster Hunter blindfold run by, I forget the streamer's name. She's a streamer. Asma Gold. I've been following it for about a month, right? So a person did a blindfold run of Monster Hunter, right, with the boss, and I forget the boss's name, right? And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I thought I was watching because I was like, oh, I'll watch or do a blind run, okay? And yet, it's a video that Asmongold thought was real, and then it was proven that it wasn't real, and then it was proven that it was real again, and then it was proven that it wasn't real, and then she did a second run, and then people looked at the second run and found out that that run was also fake. And man, let me tell you, I don't really watch TV anymore, right? I don't really watch TV anymore. But this is a great drama. So I've been watching Asmongold talk about this. And then yesterday, Asmongold had, and then her moderators came onto his channel and started talking. And boy, if you guys want to hear a comedy act, you got to go watch it. Okay? You got to go watch it or listen to it. It's fucking hilarious. The amount of defense mechanism that comes up by her mods. And one guy goes, well, I'm a physician, and this is how... And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? It is phenomenal entertainment purpose, right? And now there's, like, these parameters. The first time she did the blind run, the blindfold was see-through. You could see it in the video that it was see-through. Then she did a second blind through, but then she had her head up like this. So when you have this, you can actually see off the corner. And she had a third monitor, but she covered up her two monitors and said she didn't have a third monitor. It is just fucking... It is fantastic. You can see that one lie led to the next lie, which then made other people have to lie, and then other liars all started lying to tell the truth, but not the truth. It's fantastic. You should go watch it. Yeah. Repositions her camera. The way the camera goes. She literally looks over to the left side that there's no monitor there. She moved her OBS over there to look at the OBS screen. It is just straight up. Now, I'm not saying it's fake, but if you're interested, go watch all of it. It's like 3 hours. It's like a Lord of the Rings movie episode, but let me tell you, it's very entertaining. Her mods sound like a fucking dumb. Yeah, he's a physician though, so don't, you know. Mod being a mod, what can they do? When he called the guy out, why did she look at the monitor and cover it up when she was the guy? It said the chat was hilarious. Yeah. It really is entertaining. It really is entertaining. And I literally watched it in the beginning going, wow, a blind run. I was like, well, all right, let's hear about it. And Asmo comes out and says that he was fooled. And he's like, well, wait a minute. It could be real. Going back and forth. What physician has time to be a Twitch mod? I don't know, Mark. But when he came out, like, the question that Asma asked him was like, I forget what it was. Like, why do you think she used a third monitor? He's like, well, I'm a physician. And she didn't. I was just like, what the fuck? And then they're trying to get parameters on the next run. What would you like to see that she has to do? Very, very simple. Live camera, wide view of all your monitors, and shut your monitors off. She's like, well, she can't shut the monitors off because it changes the inputs. What? Guys, I'm gonna do my chat blindfolded right now. Okay, I'm gonna do mine blindfolded right now. I can't see chat, so I can't answer you, but I'm gonna do the rest of the stream like just shut off your monitor. Shut your monitors off. If you're so good at what you're doing, you don't need to see it. You don't need a blindfold. Put a camera behind you, shut the monitors off, and that's it. Do the run. We'll see it, and we'll see you that you can't see it. Done. Now you got to make sure the video is real though, because they could do previous footage or whatnot. She covered the monitors, Titan. She put paper on 2 of the monitors, just not the third that was off camera that you couldn't see. Internet doctors are as internet lawyers, yeah, they're in abundance. Yeah, she covered the monitors. Just didn't cover the third monitor off to the side. And the greatest part is she just started streaming recently and got great, a lot of people watched her. She became partnered right away, right? Because of the blind run. Everyone thought it was real, right? And I'm not saying that she's not a good player. She probably is a really good player. She just cheated on the blind run. But she got what she got, right? She got really popular, but then the problem is that Asmongold watched her video, which was a gift and a sin all at the same time. Okay? Because now she's getting criticism because there's proof that she faked it, right? And then she did a second run to prove that she wasn't faking, which then made it worse because she faked that one as well. So now you're in this like mid-tier like realm of no matter what you do, okay? No matter what you do, people are going to negate what you actually did if you did it or didn't, because there's been 2 times that you've been caught with maybe being faked out, you know what I mean? And people, viewers, hate being lied to, right? Because if people are watching you because you're saying, hey guys, I'm going to balance on this tightrope 100 stories up in the air, and then all of a sudden you're like 10 feet above the ground, and you put a green screen underneath you, and it looks like you're 100 stories up in the ground, and people find out, that's going to be a fucking difference. You know what I mean? You're lied to them. Right? So, good luck to her in her third run. Hopefully they don't catch her faking again. Oh, yeah, he comes out, though, Titan. He says he got tricked. He got faked. He says. And he even says, I'm not the person. He goes, you tricked me. He's like, so it wouldn't matter what I think. Right? He actually says this. He says, I got fooled. So I can't tell you if it's what it is. But other people figured it out. It's a very interesting watch with the evidence that's there. So I'm spitballing here and there. Go watch the video. It's very entertaining. Very entertaining. If anything from this is that regardless if she did it for real or not, the amount of viewership that she's gotten, it's a win. Crowded says, she could pay me to tell people it's real. I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's just very entertaining. Oh, God. Zack Snyder says we're getting 6 hours of Rebel Moon Director's Cut on the same day on Netflix. 6 hours of that movie. I'm torn right now. I'm torn. Maybe the movie will be better. But do I want to sit through 6 hours? I'm torn. I might have to sit. I might have to sit there for 6 hours just to see if it's a better cut than the original. Maybe I'll do 6 different views, 1 hour each, just to digest it a little bit more. Because, look, I'm a moviegoer. I love movies. Rebel Moon was a piece of shit that I watched. Now, a 6-hour director's cut, I kind of want to give it a shot because I do think Zack Snyder's director's cut of Justice League is much better than what came out. I don't know, though. Does the 6-hour version have the story? Yeah, I don't know how it's... Like, I'm torn. I'm like, it was a piece of shit. I know some of you guys like it. I think it's a piece of shit. Do I want to go back and watch a 6-hour version to make it better? That's a lot of slow motion shots, let's be honest. Gonna be a lot of slow motion. It's not PG, maybe it'll be better. I can't imagine him cutting out the story. You know what I mean, Titan? But if you put it at 2 times speed, 3 hours. You're not wrong, Altern. You're not you're not wrong. Maybe what I'll do is won't watch it at all. I'll let somebody else watch the 6-hour cut, and then I'll just watch their 1 hour breakdown of that. And then watch that at 1.5 times speed. Boom. I think that's what we'll do. I mean, 6 hours is a lot. How long was the first one? I think the first one was 2 hours and 40-something minutes. Let's see. Runtime. Two hours and 14 minutes. So we're talking 3 times. 3 times the length. They couldn't tell the story in 2 hours and 14 minutes. I don't know. 1.5 would still be 4 hours. That's why I said I'll wait for someone to watch it. Give us a 1 hour breakdown, then I'll watch that at 1.5. So he cut out 3 hours of dialogue that made everything make sense. Oh, you think he cut out 3 hours of dialogue? I think he cut out 3 hours of slow motion. I honestly, Z, I don't know. 6 hours, that's a long time, man. I would rather watch 3 old movies. 4 old movies. Because most old movies are like an hour and 20 minutes. I would rather watch 4 older movies that my son has never watched before than take my own time to watch 6 hours of Rebel Moon. That's a lot of fucking time. I watched all 8 episodes of Avatar. It was good. I was shocked. I hear good things about the Avatar that just came out. There's other things I want to watch. I probably won't watch the Rebel Moon one. I still got to watch like the Bad Batch end of season, like the last 3 episodes of season 2 and then season 3. And I still got 2 episodes left of Reacher, season 2. All right, tonight we're gonna play some more Helldivers. About 8 p.m. tonight, we'll play some more Helldivers. Tomorrow evening, we're gonna play some Expedition. I think it's gonna either be tomorrow night or Wednesday. So we'll play Helldivers tonight. Anybody who wants to play, come on by. We'll play Helldivers tonight, 8 p.m. We'll play Expedition tomorrow evening over on Xbox, 8 p.m. No podcast this week on Wednesday, so we'll play another game on Wednesday. Maybe we'll play Expedition or Helldivers. I'm not sure yet. And then Thursday night, we have Generation X Gaming. So those are the night streams that we're doing this week. And then we'll be back tomorrow morning for more news stories and whatnot. Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much for the subscribers. A couple of you guys subscribed while we were live. I appreciate that very much. If you like our content here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams, we do uploads, we do gameplay, and we do podcasts. So you can, lots of content for you to check out. Appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging. Peace.